Can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies.
Trying to get in these last-minute bets for the game tonight.
Goodness gracious.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney and Satan. That's next.
The Sith Lord is back.
Like a demon, it rises again.
Dick Cheney, Darth Vader, Satan.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
We don't need Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney was dangerous. That war.
The only thing you got to do is just be better than Dick Cheney.
I like to see Dick Cheney exposed. He's a liar.
You're part of the Dick Cheney cult that led to hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis being killed because of the cult you were in.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
Yes, you do, girl. You've got the endorsement of Darth Vader. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Reese on the Radio Rundown. Filling in for Todd Feinberg on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC, September the 12th, 2024. Your phone calls due in a bit at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Notice a little change in the intro. Don't worry about it. Times happen where you must adapt. It was one of my biggest problems with Howard Stern. When the time calls for you to adapt, when you have to assimilate, you do. Which brings us to our opening monologue today. And it's all anyone could talk about. I want to start off by saying this. I don't think that people truly recognize power. I want to make sure that you do understand power. Power is when you can say something and it can affect an entire industry by just saying something. And that was in the debate Tuesday night. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. The power of that statement today has every news outlet in Springfield, Ohio. Folks, that is called power. People wanting so much to disprove that claim, not recognizing that he has the power to move an industry. Get on a plane and get out to Springfield, Ohio. Donald Trump has said something. Get on a plane. God forbid, had he had said it, it was happening in Helsinki. How many people would be there today? I just want to make that side note. But back to the monologue. Facts are stubborn things. And whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passion, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence. John Adams. They are stubborn things, folks. Facts. So, I go to this. An article written in March of 2019, far before there was any debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. far before there was any controversy in Springfield, Ohio. Headline: Do Haitians eat cats? The shocking truth. Written by a Haitian man from Haiti. Do Haitians eat cats? Is one of the top 10 most frequently asked questions by Haitians in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and even professional settings. Unfortunately, many Haitians feel uncomfortable answering this question. I, on the other hand, don't have this problem. This is why I'm going to spill the beans and let you in on this little secret. Eating cat meat is not a daily activity or a nationwide practice in Haiti. However, some Haitians do eat cats on December 24th in a national festivity called Réveillon, which is a big Christmas party. This is a practice exclusively known to a select group of Haitians, found mostly in some countryside villages. Now, I know you may have many questions that need answers. I'm going to try to answer some of them for you right here, right now. Are you ready? Let's go. Why do Haitians eat cats? Contrary to popular beliefs, Haitians don't eat cats because they are poor and hungry. They eat cats because it's a tradition. The practice of eating cats in Haiti is not a new habit, but an old tradition started at the time of slavery. For instance, runaway slaves hunted, killed, and ate wild cats deep in Haiti's forest and treacherous mountains many years before Haiti became a nation. So the practice of eating cat is just as old as Haiti itself. Do Haitians eat other types of animals? Well, yes. Haitians eat cows, goat, sheep, chickens, pork, etc. But cat meat is a delicacy that many from the countryside simply can't resist. Look, having a Réveillon without cat is like celebrating Thanksgiving without a turkey, unless you're a vegetarian. Some just have to have it. Why? Well, again, it's an old tradition. 2019. Go to Google now. I'll wait. Go to DuckDuckGo, one of our proud sponsors here at WTIC. Go there. Type in about if Haitians eat cats, and you will see every article in every news outlet going nuts to cover it up. No, they don't. It's a racist trope. It's not true. 2019. Every article you'll find, in fact, the first 2 pages, it will all be within the last 2 days. Not even daring to ask the people that are the subjects. Not even checking the history. But again, this is written by a Haitian over 5 years ago. So it's there. Someone was talking about it and reveling about it as a tradition. Folks, we know that there are countries across this globe that eat things that we're not exactly excited about. Come on. Even the former president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, wrote in his book that he had dog. Crunchy, he called it. Crunchy. Didn't he? He ate it in Indonesia. So what's the deal? Why are there so many liberals losing their ever-loving mind over this inconvenient truth? Well, I'll tell you why. It's not just an opportunity to call people racist. That's stupid. This is an opportunity to protect a group of people that they believe must be protected from even their own culture. It's an uncomfortable truth for a bunch of morally superior, awful people running around. I'm clearly more sophisticated than you. I would never think such a horrible thing about a group of people that are beneath me. But you racist, you pig. How dare you talk about Haitians in such a way? You should be completely removed from polite society. I've never met a Haitian, but I know for certain they would never eat cat or dog. That's uncivilized. And the mere mention of it is racist. You should be flogged. You're all pathetic. You're all pathetic. You're not better than anyone. You're not better than any of us. It's just an inconvenient truth that you don't. And again, what are you protecting? Who are you protecting? Why are you protecting them? I don't see you bending over a barrel to protect the people who are being affected in Springfield, the people who are having the resources that they need plucked from their pockets and given to people who have no sweat equity in those communities. I don't see you bending over backwards, protecting people who are going to lose their homes so that people can get a financial benefit from the government to house illegals while they kick Americans out on the street. I don't see you bending over a barrel to do anything for people who fought for this country, former vets, 100% disabled vets who have no place to go, who the federal government has decided to not prioritize over illegals. But you have the audacity to look at the rest of us and talk about how we're of a lesser build. How dare you? You stand on the backs of those people. You use them as nothing more than a prop to pat yourself on the back. You are swine. You are pathetic. Take your slimy, disgusting, and despicable morals and climb back under the rock that you come out of every time you find something morally superior to moan about to the rest of us. We'll wait. We know you'll be there soon. But this is an uncomfortable truth for you. We're not saying anything other than the truth. And if that makes you uncomfortable, it's probably because it's true. Just like every other uncomfortable truth. It's not culturally acceptable for blacks to shoot themselves in the street. It's not culturally acceptable for blacks to do hand-to-hand drug deals to their community. It is not culturally acceptable for black kids to live in single-parent households. The things that you try to prop up in groups that you think that you're better than, while telling the rest of us that you're clearly morally superior than the rest of us, is nothing more than keeping those people where you want them to be, beneath you. You use them as a prop. You stand on their backs while you pat yourself on yours. F you. Please don't bore me with that rhetoric anymore. Now I'll go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Jim's in Willington. How are you, Jim?
Oh, nice to talk to you again.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Every time I talk to you, I get smarter.
What's going on?
I'm trying my hardest to lower the intelligence level by calling and embarrassing myself. Hey, look, let me just say this. Trump made a rookie mistake. Never should even have brought that up. All it did was give airtime, and just like you said, all these news people run it to Ohio to prove him wrong. Mm-hmm. A deflection off of Kamala Harris and her. I don't think
that's happening. I see where you're coming from, because it sort of becomes like it becomes the primary focus of the news media, that they want to focus on that so they can distract from the fact that Kamala Harris was sort of, let's just say, without any strong points in her debate. So now let's make it about Donald Trump. And if we're focusing on that, we can sort of give Kamala Harris a little sort of skate by. So I get what you're saying. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Let me just throw one remark about the debate. You know, I said this before. You know, I give her credit for being able to present herself in a way that any good actress would. But in the end, what she talked about was total fiction and a lie. Yeah, she was very polished there, but everything was a soliloquy. Everything was like a speech. Everything was a posture or a post. And in the end, it was nothing but lies. And of course, she wasn't challenged. But the one thing she said twice was that basically the sovereignty of a country or its borders needs to be upheld. It needs to be respected. And I can't believe that Trump didn't come back and say, and those were her exact words.
Right.
You get my drift.
Yeah.
I can't believe Trump didn't come back and say, well, you know, let me know where they're going to do that for the United States of America, because you sure as heck haven't done that. And then maybe the press could run down to the border and prove Trump wrong as to what's been going on there for the last, I don't know how many years.
Oh, you know, that was an interesting thing, because don't you find it, and to your point about the border in particular, right? When did the news media decide to go down to the border? It wasn't until Joe Biden got down there. Then all of a sudden the press showed up. Bill Melugin, I remember, famously said that when we were starting to see like numbers well above 300,000 a day. Bill Melugin of Fox News was saying, in fact, it was some speech, I guess, that Kamala Harris had given. And Bill Melugin was really, really upset. It was one of the times where Bill Melugin was sort of subjective in his journalism as opposed to objective, when he was like, I couldn't believe that the vice president said that, because I look around at the Border Patrol talking to them and asking them what other news outlets are here asking you questions or are down here filming migrants coming across the border. And they tell them every time Fox News is the only people there. And Bill Melugin took issue with that. It was like, I don't know what she's talking about. No one's paying attention to this issue. Fox News and some other independent journalists are the only people here. Legacy media has never shown up.
Absolutely no press on the humanitarian and environmental issue on the border, going all the way back to Obama.
Yeah.
Both sides of the border. So yes, I understand that. We don't have to rehash that.
No, I know, but I get your point.
Yeah, and then I guess the last thing, and thank you for the time, is that Trump gave, the last 2.5 minutes was important. What he said was great. But, anywhere in that debate, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago, Kamala? He could have said that 50 times.
Yeah.
He could have just said it 50 times.
I think, but you know what? I'm going to play some audio. I'm going to play some audio to that particular point, because it did not go without notice by a lot of people. And there's a lot of that stuff that's going on today, sort of the aftermath of the aftermath. People have had at least 48, well, a little less than 48 hours, 36 hours, we'll say that. 36 hours from the debate to actually analyze it now. And what's coming out on the other end is actually turning out to be quite harmful for Kamala Harris. But we'll get into that.
It is.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Jim. So when we come back, folks, you know what sparked this conversation, what sparked this monologue today. All right. And that was a little phone call yesterday. And not only that, part of it was a debate that I was having on my phone today in a chat. People, again, I'm listening to them, and I see exactly a pattern of behavior here. But I'll talk about this a little bit more on the other side. Plus, another piece of trash, morally, is Senator Chris Murphy. I'd like to play you some audio in a little bit of him and why he disgusts me. And I don't think he'll ever be able to redeem himself after this video. But we'll get into that in a little bit. It has to do with the opening segment of the show. But we'll be back. We got more news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Is it? No, it's not time yet. Is it time? No. I was like, I knew I was right on point.
Oh, you said something. You said something that usually triggered me.
That's okay. Anyway, but we'll be back.
It's commercial time.
It's right. It's commercial time. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
With Aer Lingus and Bradley International Airports, your vacation.
Yeah, you said so. I don't know what you said.
I don't know. It was something that was immediate. It sounded so much like I was going to go into traffic.
Yeah. So that's what triggered me.
European Hub, make your trip 20 times more fun with connections to over 20 cities across Europe, including London, Paris, and Rome. From epic coastlines to city tram lines, you can explore it all. Visit airlingus.com to book your flights today.
Weather can be unpredictable nowadays, but your local news station on the free Odyssey app has got you covered. Whether you need an umbrella, windbreaker, or an extra layer, or two, we'll let you know. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station to listen on your smartphone or ask your smart speaker to play it before you head out the door. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station. That's AUDACY.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know that men's health screenings are different depending on your age? Trinity Health of New England's Men's Health Institute is here to support your comprehensive care at every age. Our team of primary care doctors will work together with our skilled and experienced urologists to get you the proper screenings for your individual needs. Take charge of your health by staying current with annual wellness visits and immunizations. Visit trinityhealthofne.org/men today.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. In New Britain, police are trying to piece together a burglary crash and shots fired incident believed to be connected. One person is dead. Officers were called to Kelsey Street just before 9 at the height of drop-off at a nearby elementary school and learning center when a shelter-in-place was implemented. Crash occurred following the burglary, say police, and that's when the shots were fired. A man and woman are dead in what Ansonia police say was a murder-suicide this morning. Officers were called to a home on Westfield Avenue. When they arrived, they found 45-year-old Miguelina Lebron with gunshot wounds. She died at an area hospital. Her ex-husband, 47-year-old Yanis Tavares, was dead at the scene. 2 other people in the home were not injured. In Thompson, the investigation is ongoing regarding what state police say was a suspicious fire late Wednesday night. Police and fire personnel are investigating at Quadic Town Farm Road. A person was critically injured. There's no word yet on the cause. Police in Plainfield are investigating after a school bus and garbage truck collided in the Moosip section of town this morning. About 8:45, the vehicles were involved in the crash at Main and Church. The bus driver, a staffer at Shepherd Hill Elementary, and 5 students aged 5 to 8 were taken to an area hospital. Truck driver was not injured, but was cited for failure to stop at a stop sign. Vice President Harris, former President Trump, each making a beeline for swing states that they hope to flip this year. Harris is holding rallies today in North Carolina, in Charlotte and Greensboro. Former President Trump is in Tucson, Arizona. WTIC News Time is 3:31. Here's Jason Caterino with the forecast.
For the rest of the afternoon, beautiful, mostly sunny and warm, the high of 83. Clear to partly cloudy tonight. We'll get some areas of late night fog forming, the low down to 54. Then for Friday, some areas of morning fog may impact travel. Otherwise, mostly sunny and very warm to round out the week. There'll be a light breeze out of the south, the high up to 86. Saturday, mostly sunny, beautiful start to the weekend. Light breeze out of the east-northeast and the high right back to 86. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Checking Wall Street, the Dow is up 181 points, the Nasdaq's up 175, and the S&P is up 39 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Do your dress shoes, casual shoes, boots, and even your sneakers hurt? And are you starting to wonder, isn't there any shoe out there that'll get rid of my foot pain? Maybe you don't need a better shoe. Maybe you need better support in your shoes. That's where the Good Feet store can help.
When I went to the doctor and got diagnosed with plantar fasciitis, he told me that I could only wear sneakers. So there went all my summer collection of shoes and all my dress shoes I couldn't wear. It was just too painful, too much foot pain every day. I wanted to take off my shoes as soon as I got home every day, but as soon as I got my arch supports from the Good Feet store, I have no foot pain whatsoever, and I can wear any dress shoe that I want.
Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with pain.
What's
Come
up,
see us
Greg?
at the Good Feet store and see how we can help. Come in today. We're located in Avon at 25 Climax Road across from Whole Foods. Good Feet Arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Roland Kevin said, I'm pretty sure I heard the guy that you're intimidating getting coffee at the corner restaurant in Lynchfield this morning when I was doing the English accent.
At 203-896-4.
He probably did.
I know. I'm telling you, I do that accent all the time. I met this guy who actually talked like that. Everything was beneath him.
Anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private
Wow.
who buy several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses.
Oh, okay.
Do you
Thank
own
you,
a house
Craig.
that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
California Psychics is the real deal. They helped me out, totally changed my attitude, totally got me psyched to start my business and take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us, so we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Men, low testosterone causes a host
1 minute.
include a low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Dale for Northeast.
You're going to be going right in.
I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. We've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're feeling like the vast majority of men who are low T, within just a few weeks, you'll feel your energy return. That brain fog will go away. Your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So make an appointment and make a true life change. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is
in 10.
930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we are back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC, 36 minutes after the hour. On this September the 12th, 2024. Back to the phones we go, 860-522-WTIC. I'm sure there's going to be a couple of responses to my monologue. If in case you missed it, you can always go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com or download the Odyssey app to check out the last break. Ken is in Westfield. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. First of all, I want to thank you for the honest and heartfelt tribute you gave yesterday. It was wonderful and well done, mate. Seriously, well done.
Thank you.
Really.
Much appreciated, sir.
It was, as you said, everybody remembers where they were on that day, and I thought it was very genuine, very heartfelt, and very honest tribute. And so thank you for that.
My pleasure, sir. Was that it, or did you have another thing you wanted to opine about current events?
Of course I did.
Yes, sir.
You know I can't let you get by with that cat thing.
Okay, what do you got for me?
All right. Well, there are lots of cultures that eat things, as you said, that we don't here in this country or in European countries consume.
Sure.
But nobody is going around killing pet cats and killing pet dogs. Nobody's doing that. It was as ridiculous to say that as it was for Donnie Baby to say it on Tuesday night. And
well,
the
Ken,
reaction
if I
from-
can,
from
let me
Kamala was-
let me interject on
Carry
the
on.
claim that you made. Because see, you used the word my conversation yesterday was you used the word nobody, right? And another thing that the news media is using is no evidence, right? There's also no evidence that convicted OJ or Casey Anthony, by the way, okay? But yet everybody can opine about, yeah, OJ did it and Casey killed her daughter, right? So there's no evidence to support the claims that Casey Anthony is guilty of murder, right? So when somebody uses the word nobody is or no evidence of, I'm always suspicious of people who use that because that's zero sum. So I'd like to say something if I could or ask you a question.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All
of
right.
course.
Do you believe in the theory that a tree doesn't make a sound if it falls in the forest and no one is there?
It's an interesting question. I've heard that question before, and it completely. I would say it makes a sound, but nobody is there to receive it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying about the evidence claim and the claim that no one is. Now, there are people on the ground in Springfield who are saying that there are things like one woman who says, I think she was one of the women, the 95-pound woman who was at the town hall meeting, and she says in an interview just posted yesterday that she had a neighbor who had about 100 cats at her house. I don't know what's wrong with that woman, but she says she'd be lucky if she only has 5 today. Now, that's suspicious. Again, warrants investigation, yes or no? If the woman had 100 cats and now there's only 5 left, is that enough to make people go, maybe we should investigate?
I would go back and look at the claim of 100 cats.
Okay, exactly.
It seems,
exactly.
yeah.
And it warrants suspicion.
I would do some type of investigation. Yes, I would.
That's all. And the only thing that I'm asking most people to do is, and I get what you're saying, is like, look, it is difficult for you to believe that this is happening with the Haitian migrants who are in Springfield, Ohio. I would rather, as I said in a chat with my husband-in-law, as I like to call him, I would prefer, because he lives in Woodbridge, Virginia, and I would prefer he say this. I don't believe it's happening. And leave it there. And I would appreciate from everybody. Just say, I don't believe it's happening. I think Donald Trump is wrong, and leave it there. Instead, people are going one step further and saying it's not happening. No one is doing it without evidence. It sounds like George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin because he was black. It sounds like that kind of defense. I have no evidence to support it, but I believe it, so I'm going to state it as a fact. And that's what I see people doing in this argument, is that you want to be in such opposition to what Donald Trump said, you are making the leap that it is false without even investigating it.
But what I saw and what I heard from the moderators, especially, by the way, I thought the moderators did a wonderful job of fact checking. But when
frightening.
He said that. The moderators came by and said that there was
you know what? I love the
evidence
fact that you're bringing that up, Ken. Let's talk about what he said. David Muir, his exact quote was, and I have it here. Let me find David Muir's quote because I don't want to misquote him.
That's fine.
Let me see. Here he is. Here's David Muir, so you can hear it yourself.
Yes.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals.
Now, ABC News reached out to the city manager, a news organization that has the resources to send reporters on the ground, which, by the way, they've done today, is said that the evidence that it isn't happening is ABC News, a vast multi-billion-dollar legacy news outfit, their investigation into cats or dogs being eaten in Springfield, Ohio, was a phone call. Would you consider that crack journalism? Sir?
I would probably do more, but
of
I would
course
do more of an investigation.
Okay,
I would probably do more of an investigation.
That's all I'm saying.
I probably would do more of it.
That's all I'm saying, Ken. Is what I'm saying is that ABC News's fact check of Donald Trump was we made a phone call, and a guy told us there's no evidence, so case closed. Which again begs for me, because I'm a curious person and I'm in this business to be curious, because I have to ask questions to the audience, is the fact that anybody in the news business, and what are they there to do? To investigate, to gather information, and to report it back to the American public. That this guy would say, case closed, we made a call to a city manager. And he said, nope, no evidence of that. And that's the end of the story? So what I'm asking you to be is, here's what I'm asking you to be, Ken. Regardless of what you feel about Donald Trump, try this on for size. I hear people use the term critical thinking. Here's what I'm asking you to do.
Yes.
Just be curious. Walt Whitman, be curious.
Of course, I'm a science professor at one of the local colleges here in Springfield.
You are perfect for this conversation.
Exactly. So I'm always curious. I'm always curious.
Good.
And so I thought his response for the time that it
happened
was was at the time sufficient to say managers, the city personnel would probably have gotten reports that of something curious going on.
I understand that.
He has had. What's that?
No, I said I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is like, look, and I'll tell you this story because I'm going to get to another call, and I've spent a lot of time with you, and I know some people are on hold. I will get to them, but no, Ken, that's my fault, not yours. Don't apologize. You were a great call. You were a great call, and I want to finish up with you. But hear me out.
We have talked before about.
Oh, I know. I remember you, Ken. One time I went to a Trump rally in Virginia, in Leesburg, Virginia. And it was the day that Donald Trump had said, I think it was maybe to George Stephanopoulos, or he and George Stephanopoulos had an exchange where Donald Trump had said that he had heard reports or he had seen people who were celebrating in New York the attack on the World Trade Center, right? And George Stephanopoulos responded to him by saying there was no news reports that suggested that took place. Now, when I got to the rally in Leesburg, Virginia, a reporter from England walked up to me, and he saw a black man at a Trump rally, so in 2016, that was an anomaly. And he stops me, and he starts talking about the World Trade Center. He doesn't know that I was actually in New York, at Hot 97, on the radio station, reporting to the masses in the city that the World Trade Center had been attacked. That was my job. He knew nothing of that. But he said to me,
right.
Did you hear that there were people in New York, that Donald Trump said that there were people in New York who were celebrating the attacks? And you know what I said to the guy? I said, actually, at the radio station I worked at, we received phone calls at our network that people were celebrating in several places in Jersey City and in Lower Manhattan. They were jumping and cheering. He goes, you heard that happened? I said, yes, because I was on the air that day. And then I told him who I was. And then I looked at him and I said, do you believe that because it's not in the papers or in the news that events don't take place? And he stopped and he thought about it. And I said, you guys see yourselves as omnipotent, as if to suggest that because you didn't report on it, it didn't happen. And then I told him that same day there was a massacre in New Orleans where 12 people were killed by one man, a black man in New Orleans. I asked him if he had heard about the massacre. He says, no, I didn't hear that story. I said, well, then it didn't happen. You see my point?
I see your point.
Okay. That's all I'm
I
saying.
take your point.
Forget about the guy who conveyed the message. Be curious.
Oh, yes. Okay.
All right.
Reese, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. All right. Now, do I have enough time for one more? Okay. I don't. All right. Thank you guys for being so patient. Ken, you were fantastic. I want Jay and John, please, guys, stay on the hold. I promise I will get to you. I just really wanted to finish that call with Ken because I thought that was helpful, not just to me, I think to a lot of people who listen, especially those who are, maybe not big fans of Donald Trump or the conversation at all. And I think that was a good exchange to have. So be patient with me. We'll get into that. Don't forget, folks, just posted. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. The stupidest thing that I read all day. It is a great story from our good friend, Rob McGreevy at the Daily Caller News Foundation. It is on the website now. It's a great story. We'll talk about it a little more at about 4:05 in the next hour. It is a hilarious story that you will not believe. So if you feel like it, if you got a moment, go over to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and scroll all the way down to the stupidest story I've read all day. It's worth the read if you want to get a good laugh, and you probably want to be outraged, okay? Because you will be, I promise. Plus, don't forget, in the next hour, we have to talk about Christopher Murphy, because it seems as though many people on the left are celebrating the endorsement that Dick Cheney gave to Kamala Harris. And if you missed the opening monologue, don't worry, I've got the audio for you, and why it proves deep down inside liberals, not only do they have no morals, they have no compass, at least no integrity. But we'll break all that down, and Chris Murphy is at the lead of all of that when we get back. You will not believe this audio that happened at the debate that should be going viral but isn't, of Christopher Murphy. So stick around. We have all of that. We have so much more coming up today. And don't forget the 5 o'clock focus, because we're on pets, involves pets. And a story that was in the Hartford Current as well. All right? So stick around. There's much, much more. I know you guys are driving home. We are going to get to the BPS Traffic Center in a little bit to at least find out what the roads are looking like with Mark Christopher. All right? So we'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
With vacations over and busy schedules back, don't forget your dental care. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester is open 7 days a week with late hours to fit your busy routine. Call 860-730-6030 or visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
I got my together. I got my together.
I got my together.
Just say it. You can get your shots together too. Your COVID-19 shot and your flu shot at the same visit as recommended by the CDC.
Michael A., hold on. Let me check on that real quick.
Getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both.
Are you getting your together?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by calling 844-300-LEAF to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Call Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate and to save up to 30%. Dial 844-300-LEAF. That's 844-300-LEAF.
Our goal is to provide patients with the strongest, most effective, and safest options in this exciting field of regenerative medicine.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
The idea that you can avoid a joint replacement is very exciting.
And that's from a surgeon who's done thousands of joint replacements, but who now believes there's a better way.
Regenerative medicine, as we understand it today, gives lasting pain relief, improved function, without surgery, without drugs.
Under Dr. Scheinkup's leadership, QC Kinetics medical professionals treat patients every day with the most advanced protocols in natural biologics. Literally tens of thousands of people all over America.
I've been doing research on regenerative medicine for 2 decades. This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
We all hear the radio ads.
Oh, a minute.
They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call.
And 10 right after.
56481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080. Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I have to give the biggest props to not just this audience, but to Randy, who just sent me a message on Facebook that I didn't even think of. And it's the one, it's so evident. I have to play the audio again before I get into the phone calls, but let me just play this again. Listen to this. David Muir on the whole subject.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals.
Let me read you what Randy said. Randy said, how did ABC News fact check the story before Trump said anything? I don't get it. And that's right. ABC News didn't know that Trump was going to bring it up. How would they know? How could they have anticipated it? It means that ABC News, which, by the way, had never covered the story on anywhere, on any of their platforms, were ready to fact check the point, not knowing Trump would bring it up. That means that they were hip to the story before Trump even mentioned it. Do you understand, Ken? We do have to stay curious. Because now we have to ask, gee, David, why did you call the city manager? To the phones we go. That's, again, I'm just thinking that. Jay is on the line. Hey, Jay, you're on with Reese on the Radio. Thanks for holding. Jay, you there? Okay, maybe. There. No, all right, maybe not. Let's hope. We'll go to John in Kensington.
How about now?
Oh, there you go. Hey, I got you. I got you, buddy. How are you?
1 minute.
Not bad, not bad. Hey, listen, man, I just want to say I love this show, and I want you to do that rich guy voice for the rest of the show. So you were doing a little earlier.
You know what?
Back it up so hard in the car.
Thank you. A lot of people tell me that my pompous English accent is the best one. I do love doing it. I'm not gonna lie. I get a chuckle out of it. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'll keep it in the repertoire. I'll bring it out now and again. All right? I appreciate you. Let's go to John in Kensington real quick. John, how are you, sir?
No.
Oh, we don't have time? Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, John. John, hold on. I apologize because we're going to have to get the BPS traffic center rolling, screaming at me. No. I promise you I'll get to you in a second. But, God, there was such a good point Randy gave. I don't know why, but that escaped me. Like they were ready for it. They were ready for the question. It doesn't even make any sense. Huh? Goodness gracious. This is why you're the greatest audience in the world. That's why I love the audience. I put all of my faith in you. I do. I really, really do. Let's get to the first check of the traffic with our good friend Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, Mark?
We're doing okay. Thank you very much, Reese. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you are traveling now into downtown Hartford, this traffic report being brought to you by Cape Cod Fence, and we're looking at delays on the southbound side of I-91 33 down to 32 A and B, a little bumped up by exit 28. Northbound 91 moves well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84, you're tied up just after 56 up to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound delays 44 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. If you're 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound delays, Middletown, 22 to the Aragoni Bridge. Look out for an accident on the westbound side of 84 in Waterbury between exit 21 and 19. Expect the lane to be shut down there. And if you are traveling right now on the southbound side of I-91, delays from exit 7 in toward the 95 interchange. 95 southbound, you're slowing in New Haven, 46 to 44. 84 eastbound, Danbury, tight 3 to 5. 84 eastbound, the Newtown delays 9 up to exit 11. And you'll see more slow traffic again, 84 eastbound in Southbury as you move between exit 16 and exit 17. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Be careful out there, Michael A. You're the second person to tell me I did that to them.
Fence Company in Canton has been Connecticut's premier fencing contractor since 1956. Quality craftsmanship, products that last for years, and the local team known for expert installation. Check us out at CapeCodFence.com. Cape Cod Fence Company.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. WTIC weather.
For the rest of the afternoon, a beautiful, mostly sunny and warm day, the high of 83. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. There'll be some areas of late-night fog forming. Comfortable, though, with the low down to 54. For Friday, some areas of morning fog may impact the travel. Otherwise, mostly sunny. Another beautiful day to round out the week. The high up to 86 with a light breeze out of the south. Then another gorgeous day to kick off the weekend. Saturday, mostly sunny skies. The high of 86. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 80 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. A chaotic scene in New Britain this morning. It started with a call to a burglary on Kelsey Street just before 9 p.m. Police Chief Matt Marino says the situation unfolded from there.
While officers were responding, we did get additional information that there was a motor vehicle accident that occurred in the area where the burglary was reported. Following that accident, there was some sort of altercation that took place where shots were fired.
One person is dead. A school and learning center were placed into lockdown. With it being so close to the drop-off time, Marino says they're still looking for suspects and that all the incidents appear to be related. A man and woman are dead in what Ansonia police say was a murder-suicide this morning. Officers were called to the home on Westfield Avenue around 5. When they arrived, they found 45-year-old Miguelina Lebron with gunshot wounds. She died at an area hospital. Her ex-husband, 47-year-old Yanis Tavares, is dead or was dead at the scene. Ansonia Police Lieutenant Patrick Lynch.
All the information at this point indicates to the male that the male shot the female multiple times before shooting himself. It appears that the male forced entry into the home and confronted the female before shooting her and then himself.
2 other people in the home were not injured. Lynch says LeBron lived in the home with their children. Tavares was residing in Bridgeport at the time. The presidential candidates are heading to swing states today. Correspondent Nancy Cortez says a high-profile endorsement appears to be lifting Vice President Harris.
We are told that there were more than 330,000 visitors to vote.gov yesterday after megastar Taylor Swift announced she is backing Kamala Harris and directed her fans to go to that site to register to vote.
Harris in North Carolina holding a rally as we speak. Former President Trump's in Arizona where CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns says he's tailoring his message.
Here, the campaign is arguing that the economy is top of mind for voters here, as well as immigration, so threading that message together.
Election officials back here are welcoming the state's purchase of around 27 all-new voting tabulators. They'll be used in 9 cities.
Michael A., scroll down to the bottom of the page. You should be able to see it. Just refresh the page if you can.
Until next year. Alex Russell of the Yukon Voting Technology Research Lab says they're being phased out for good reason.
We were looking at a kind of desperate situation with respect to the previous machines. They couldn't get parts for them. So we were in a situation where essentially we had to use the stock of the state as parts for other machines when they failed, and it was a really delicate situation.
Russell says the state's continued use of paper ballots is the most important factor in election integrity. The new machines from a Nebraska company cost the state about $20 million. Disgraced ex-movie mogul Harvey Weinstein has been indicted on additional sex crimes charges ahead of his retrial in New York. Legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum says the indictment is still under seal and won't be revealed until Weinstein, who had emergency heart surgery this week, is well enough to be arraigned.
The original New York conviction was overturned because the jury heard evidence of similar crimes committed against other women for which Weinstein was never charged. The appellate court ruled that such evidence was too prejudicial. The jury might have found and presumed that Weinstein did it before, he probably did it again. The question now is whether those other women are part of the new charges in this indictment.
Closing Bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow up 235 points. NASDAQ gained 174, S&P up 41. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
When faced with a major health problem, you get a second opinion. Your health is important.
1 minute.
Ties to the health of your business, including your IT infrastructure. If your IT breaks, it can break your business. Get a second opinion, a network security assessment to determine the health of your IT infrastructure. Recognized as a top-ranked IT provider, Tab Computer Systems, the ASP of MSPs, can help you determine the true health of your company's technology and what you can do to keep it healthy. With over 40 years of IT service experience, Tab Computer Systems network engineers will objectively assess your IT infrastructure's risks and vulnerabilities. Tab's Eric Semmel will review the report with you and your monthly MSP fees to show you what you may or may not be getting from your current provider. Schedule your assessment today or call 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. Tab, Technologies Advancing Business, a 100% employee-owned company.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Today, in the stupidest thing I've read today, is this headline. Objectively terrible breakdancer gets world #1 ranking. That's correct. You remember we talked about her here, Reagan, the Australian breakdancer in the Paris Olympics. Yes. Objectively terrible breakdancer gets world #1 ranking, proving we live in the Emperor's New Clothes time, written by our good friend of the room, Robert McGreevy at the Daily Caller News Foundation. Why do I keep screwing that up? The World Dance Sport Federation, the WDSF, I've never heard of them, issued the sports world #1 female ranking on Monday, and they gave it to Rachel Gunn, also known as Ray Gunn, the Australian breakdancer who went viral for her laughable Paris Olympics performance in August. I can't even say it because it's so stupid. You can read the article there. I think we're going to have Rob on tomorrow, not about this story, about another story that's going on with DEI. He's working on getting, I think his name is Bobby Starbucks, I think his name is, from the Twitter handle on Robbie Starbucks. We're trying to get him on this show as well. There's a great story that he did today about how they're going after companies that have DEI in their business model. Well, so we'll see if we can have Rob McGreevy on tomorrow to talk about that. as well. We're working on some other stuff to see if we can get that handled. But yeah, check out this story. The stupidest thing I've read today: objectively terrible breakdancer gets world #1 ranking, proving we live in the emperor's new clothes times. And I wrote ranking #1 while taking a #2 on breakdancing. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Mark Christopher, please tell me you've at least seen some of the viral videos of Ray Gunn, the Australian breakdancer.
Ray Gunn?
That's her name. She is in her 30s.
Okay, and she's Australian?
She's Australian. You haven't seen these videos yet?
Ray
Gunn. Raygun. Ray Gunn is her street name.
Okay.
You know, yo, baby pa.
What up?
And she is the worst breakdancer. Just watching it is hilarious. The only thing better than watching her viral video at the Olympics is watching Rachel Dratch parody her breakdancing on Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show. In fact, Rachel Dratch might be able to beat Ray Gunn in a breakdance competition. That's how awful it is. Yeah, you got to check it out.
Check that out.
It's incredible.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now on the southbound side of I-91, you're going to see slow traffic 34 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. Northbound 91 slowing between 20 and 21 as you move up into Cromwell. After that, you're moving well Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up just after 56 up to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound delays approaching 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291 through 84, that looks good. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound delays 22 in Middletown up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound, you've got slow traffic 26 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic from 17 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 slowing by 3. 84 eastbound again tight 9 up to.
Yes, Kathy, she scored no points in any of her competitions. 0.
95 southbound New Haven slows 46 to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
It's been another gorgeous late summer day heading through tonight. Clear to partly cloudy skies with some areas of late night fog forming, the low down to 54. Then as we head through our Friday, watch out for that morning fog. May impact the morning commute in spots. Otherwise, mostly sunny. A very warm day to round out the week, the high of 86. Beautiful start to the weekend. Saturday, mostly sunny. The high right back to 86. Plenty of sunshine Sunday to the high of 84. And that sun lasts right into the beginning of next week. Another beautiful day Monday, mostly sunny, the high of 80. Right now, Danbury 79, Waterbury 76, 81 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
A successful retirement doesn't just happen. It requires a plan that is custom built to suit everyone's individual financial situation. Every Saturday at 3, we share vital information on how to build and live a successful retirement. It's On the Money with Jay Dorso. Retirement strategies on building income and proper protection from the pitfalls and the latest news in the retirement universe. On the Money with Jay Dorso, 3 p.m. this Saturday on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Warning. The following ZipRecruiter radio out to here is going to be filled with F words.
We still got John,
when
right?
You're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know.
Yep, and a couple others. I'm
okay.
Forlorn even. Like your efforts are futile. And you can spend a fortune trying
Hold
to
off
find
on
fabulous
people,
people,
anything in
only to get flooded
until
with candidates who are
after.
just
Like, I'll do
fine.
John, and then I'll do this thing about Murphy.
Fortunately,
And while I'm doing the
ZipRecruiter
Murphy
figured
thing,
out how to
then
fix
put
all
those
that.
calls in.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5
By the way, I
employers
got your
who
Reese
post
on the Radio shirt.
ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first.
Hey.
Fantastic.
So
You gonna send it to the station or?
I'll send it to you. Get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget that's ZipRecruiter.
Here we go.
Free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We are back. It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Let's go quickly to John in Kensington. He's holding for a long time. Thank you, John, and I totally adore your patience, sir. Thank you.
47 minutes. I deserve the profiles and courage.
We'll see if we can get you a Congressional Medal of Freedom. I appreciate
I just want to comment on the, well, I'm going to quickly comment on the Cheneys at the end, but let me first comment on the debate.
Mm-hmm.
People think, we're about a 50-50 country, maybe 48-48, and we're fighting for that little bit here, a little bit there.
Right.
I think that people are saying were the undecided voters moved in any way by that debate.
Right.
I think they're looking at the world through the wrong end of the telescope. I think the big gain was made for the candidate who was able to capture more of the people that said, a pox on both your houses. I don't want to vote for either one of you. And then tuned in and said, Kamala doesn't seem as bad as everyone's saying she is.
Right.
And I think that was her big win. Not on the undecideds, because they're either not decided, they're not going to vote, or they don't want to say, but it's the people that didn't want to vote for either one of them that probably thought she came off more reasonable than her reputation.
Mm.
And I think that's the big move of the needle. 3 or 4% moving in her direction because people tuned in and said she didn't seem so, certainly unprepared and giddy and laughing and all the stereotypes we have for her, which she deserves. I mean,
Gotcha.
all of those monikers she's earned.
Right.
But I think those are the people that were moved by that, and that's the risk that if you're for Trump, it doesn't matter to me, but those are the people, not the undecideds, but the people that didn't want to vote for either one of them.
Right. You almost feel like if that debate was for anyone, their motives should have been to reach the people who don't want to vote for either one of them and needed to appeal to them the most. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know if you'll go in looking for that, but
Okay.
I think that's what.
You think that happened as a product of the debate?
Yes, I think that people, she came off very polished, very well prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you think that everything was scripted and a lie doesn't matter, but because you're only going to get those people that are not hardened supporters one way or the other.
Right.
Trump, I think, came unprepared. He was talking in this Joycean stream of conscious, running from the Naval Reserve. My brother has two belly buttons.
But let me use the word. Let me go after the word that you used about prepared for Kamala Harris. I think people are using that term loosely because prepared would be she was prepared to lay out what she is going to do as president of the United States. That she was not prepared to do. She was prepared. She was prepared to indict Donald Trump and to talk about his failures, right? As an individual, morally, and even in some ways, policy-wise. But she was not there. She was not prepared to lay out who she was as a politician or who she would be as president.
Well, I don't think that she really wants people to know how radical she might become. But I think what they schooled her on is here's when they say economy, you say this.
Right.
So the first thing out of the box, they hit her with economy. That's a great question. I'm going to answer that. And then she went to the scripted thing.
Yeah.
She was so well choreographed and trained. She obviously had pros in there. Her facial expressions. She was, whether you like her or not, you got to give her.
No, I
kudos.
do. I do. Listen, she is a great study. I think we learned that definitely in that debate. But I always look at the walkaways, right? Like always after the debate, what the walkaways were. And as I was telling people in my monologue yesterday, the walkaways were, I listened to the people that she needed to affect. And I remember the one woman from the Dr. Phil, what's the name? And I'll play it for you if you didn't hear it. Listen to what she said. This woman was rooting for Kamala Harris.
I came into this with an open mind. I really, really wanted Vice President Harris to hit it out of the park. I don't think she did.
And that's a key part, right? So you got somebody who's rooting for in the outset, from the beginning, and then after the debate, and again, the high hopes, so to speak, right? I need Kamala Harris to knock this thing out of the park because I want to vote for her. And when she doesn't deliver, that says bad. That's a bad omen.
Yes, but here's the thing. she's not going to now turn around and vote for Trump because she thought that Kamala Harris didn't fulfill her every expectation.
I don't think she made that clear, but guess what? She did say, hold on, I'll go one step further of what she said.
But I still didn't get answers. I didn't get answers to fundamental questions that we need to know as voters. And we just keep getting circled around that.
Like what? What did you not get an answer to?
Her economic plans. What is an opportunity economy? What does that mean? Who's paying for the tax cuts that she's proposing?
So those only lend, when I listen to someone say that, what does she clearly understands what the subject is of policy. And I know that, look, Kamala Harris, you didn't give me any answers, but I do have answers when it comes to the other guy. I know what his economic plan is because not only has he laid it out, but I can go read it on his website.
But then under your theory, people that were leaning towards Kamala that didn't get all they were looking for are going to go to Trump. I don't believe that.
Oh, I totally, listen to me. It's not lost on me.
For a long time.
No. I got you. Don't get me wrong. I totally get where you're coming from, is that there are no guarantees, without a doubt, because Trump is a hard pill to swallow for somebody who's undecided. He just is. You're either with him or you're not. And when you're undecided, usually it means I'm voting for somebody or I'm staying home. There's a swath of those people that can make this election.
Well,
I think there's enough of them.
Well, that's why he lost last time, because enough Republicans stayed home because they set a pox on both your houses and then they stayed home.
Yeah.
But I also believe that, and books will be written, whether you like or not, the brilliant orchestration of the last 90 days from getting rid of Biden.
Well, there'll be books written about her. I got to be honest with you. Kamala Harris is a footnote in history. With all due respect, I think she's just a footnote. Yeah, I really do.
You know what, though? But people that study politics got to remember 90 days ago, the Democratic Party, and I'm a Democrat, was saying, how do we get rid of her? We can't win with her because
that's the reason. Then you're actually, that's what I'm saying. You're actually giving credence to my claim. That's my point. That's why I say I know that she'll be a footnote because, again, within 48 hours of Joe Biden stepping out, Kamala Harris was the second coming of Barack Obama. When 48 hours before, she was a pariah.
She grabbed the tiara off of Hillary's head and crowned herself the smartest woman in the world.
Sure enough, did.
I mean, you got to believe it. Let me just give you one thing about the Cheneys.
I got to play this clip though before you do, because I don't want to get ahead of it. So, no, you know what? I'll do this. Go ahead. What's your comment about the Cheneys? Make it real quick so I can get into this monologue.
All right, and this changes gears quick, but I never liked Liz Cheney, and I'll tell you why. Wyoming has one congressman. He was a Republican. He was there many years and was a loyal, good party guy. And she decides that she wants to be the congressman. And he said, what are you talking about? And she says, but I'm Liz Cheney, and you're out and I'm in. And he said, I've never done anything wrong, just like the Kennedy kid did up in Massachusetts to Senator, I think his name is Markey. And I detest that you think because of your family lineage, you should take from either party a loyal, true blue guy and knock him out.
Yeah,
and
for legacy.
Nothing in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so, it's almost European and not American. I don't like that at all.
Totally hear you. Thank you for the call, John. I appreciate your holding, man.
All right, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. Okay, so listen to this again. It was at the top of the hour. I played this.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney and Satan. That's next.
The Sith Lord is back.
Like a demon, it rises again.
Dick Cheney, Darth Vader, Satan.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
We don't need Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney was dangerous. That war.
The only thing you got to do is just be better than Dick Cheney.
I like to see Dick Cheney exposed. He's a liar.
You were part of the Dick Cheney cult that led to hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis being killed because of the cult you were in.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
That was a supercut from Grabian today, and I love their supercuts. But again, remember what they thought of Dick Cheney. And Dick Cheney now is endorsing the party that called him a war criminal, Darth Vader, Satan himself. And so Senator Chris Murphy was asked about that during the debate. Here's how that exchange went, and it shows you exactly how slimy. And let me make this clear. I don't give a damn who you're friends with at this network, sir. You're slime. Slime.
Senator, tonight Kamala Harris touted the endorsement of Dick Cheney. Did you find that at all bizarre? Would you welcome the endorsement of Dick Cheney? Am I the only one who remembers that he was integral in launching the Iraq War on false pretenses? Is that all been memory hold now?
Well, she's trying to win an election, right? And in winning an election, you're trying to build a coalition that's as big as possible. So it is important that there are a whole bunch of Republicans, many of them who worked very closely with Donald Trump, who have who having seen him up close, are convinced that he is deeply unqualified to do the job.
Dick Cheney never worked with him, bozo.
So I do think it's important that there are a host of people who disagree with Kamala Harris on policy, but are supporting her because they believe that the election of Donald Trump would mean the destruction of our democracy. It just
So I want to make this clear. Genius. It's good to have people who disagree with Kamala Harris on policy give her the office of the United States to inflict said policy on the American people. Which shows, again, Chris Murphy, your biggest problem is that you don't give a damn about the people that those policies affect, which is why you're slime.
I think solidifies the stakes of the election.
But do Dick Cheney and Kamala Harris really disagree substantively? They seem to have fairly compatible foreign policy worldviews from everything I heard from Kamala tonight.
Yeah, I think they disagree significantly.
On what?
Seriously.
I think they disagree significantly. So you're willing to go to bed with Satan, sir? By your standards, by your party standards, you are willing to go to bed with Satan himself, Darth Vader, the evil incarnate. Don't you have any morals? Do you have none? Anything to win? Who can believe a word? You're going to walk around. Is he even doing that nonsense anymore? Is he still trotting through the state, asking people what he can do for them? I'd be immediately canceled if I answered that question. But, come on, man.
On what?
Yeah, what do they disagree on?
I mean, did Kamala Harris support the Iraq War that Dick Cheney started?
Did Kamala Harris support the Iraq War? That's thinking on your feet there, dum-dum.
Wasn't in public office at the time. She may well have.
Did she support giving unfettered subsidy to the oil and gas industry?
Gotcha. Unfettered subsidies to the oil industry. Gotcha. See how you reveal yourself? So he couldn't, and he walked away because, of course, he knows he's busted.
You asked me for some examples, gave you some examples.
That's why he's on TV every Sunday. He can't help but be on all of these talk shows, these national talk shows, talking about stuff that he clearly has no real knowledge of. How important it is to get Kamala Harris elected president of the United States. His party is willing to go to bed with Satan. It's exactly who this party is. It's an evil, 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 wretched party. They have no morals. They have no moral compass. They are users. It's like a party of succubus. All of them. Pathetic. That's no. As soon as I heard that exchange, I just went. I never set out to not like this guy, but I'm sorry. I hate this man. just say, you know what? I'm not particularly happy with Dick Cheney, but I understand his reasoning. But please, spare me. Just spare me. God, he makes me sick. Let's go to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. I'm over here sweating, Mark. I'm sorry.
I know you are.
He gets me mad. Listen,
I know. He's got you all worked up.
Oh, boy. I got to go. Go ahead, please. Make people feel better. Tell us about a traffic jam.
Cool off a little bit. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, this traffic report is being brought to you by Whittlesey. And on the southbound side of I-91, delays from 34 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28. Northbound 91 is a little tight up by 21 in Cromwell. After that, you're moving along Rocky Hill through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound side of 84, you've got delays 56 Governor Street into the area, 47 Sigourney Street, 84 eastbound, delays a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound moving a little slow coming off of I-84 out to exit 5A in East Hartford. 9 northbound delays Middletown 22 to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound in Cheshire delays from exit 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. We have an accident reported between exit 21 and exit 19. Left lanes shut down there, so you want to stay to the right. If you are traveling 84 eastbound into the Danbury area, delays by 3, again 8 to 9. More slow traffic 10 to 11 on the eastbound side of 84 in Newtown. South 95 New Haven slows 46 to 44. And 91 southbound delays 3 down in toward the 95 interchange. Whittlesey wants your business to succeed. Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at wadvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
For the rest of the afternoon, beautiful, mostly sunny and warm, the high of 83. Clear to partly cloudy tonight. We'll get some areas of late night fog forming, the low down to 54. Then for Friday, some areas of morning fog may impact travel. Otherwise, mostly sunny and very warm to round out the week. There'll be a light breeze out of the south, the high up to 86. Saturday, mostly sunny, beautiful start to the weekend. Light breeze out of the east-northeast and the high right back to 86. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC News Update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. One person is dead in New Britain after a chaotic chain of events this morning that saw a burglary, crash, and shots fired. While police were investigating the burglary on Kelsey Street, they got wind of a crash and altercation in which shots were exchanged. That investigation is ongoing. A man and woman are dead in Ansonia in what police say was a murder-suicide. 45-year-old Miguelina Lebron was found in her Westfield Avenue home with gunshot wounds. She died at an area hospital. 47-year-old Yanis Tavares was dead at the scene. 2 other people in the home were not injured. State police investigators continue to probe what they say was a suspicious fire Wednesday night. House located on Quadic Town Farm Road. Person was critically injured. The fire marshal is trying to determine a cause. Several minor injuries when a school bus collided, that is, with a dump truck or a garbage truck in Plainfield. This happened around 8:45 in the morning, the area of Main and Church. The bus driver, school staffer, 5 students aged 5 to 8 were taken to the hospital to get checked out. The truck driver was cited for not stopping at a stop sign. Candidates for president zeroing in on battlegrounds today. Former President Trump's appearing in Arizona, and Vice President Harris is in North Carolina. NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban has resigned. He made the announcement today, just over a week after his phone was seized, as part of a federal investigation. People familiar with the matter say the former commissioner was one of several high-ranking city officials whose electronic devices were seized last week by the feds. On Wall Street, the Dow gained 235 points today. The Nasdaq was up 174, and the S&P gained 41 points. Yanks and Red Sox kick off a 4-game series tonight from Fenway. 6:15 is the pregame here on the radio. In the Eastern League, the Yard Goats take on Akron. 6:35 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
I got my together. I got my together.
I got my together.
Just say it. You can get your shots together too. Your COVID-19 shot and your flu shot at the same visit as recommended by the CDC.
I got my shots together.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both.
Are you getting your together?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
By the end of the 20s, radio was a recognized force, and so was WTIC. It was clear that the 500-watt transmitter the station was broadcasting on needed to be replaced to extend the station's reach. WTIC had been eligible for a 50,000-watt transmitter even before it went on the air, but there wasn't a suitable location for it. In 1928, that changed when travelers received permission to install the first RCA 50,000-watt transmitter on Talcott Mountain in Avon. Old Number 1, which the engineers called it, gave WTIC a powerful new voice in August of 1929. Listeners from as far away as Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Europe began to respond with letters. With this kind of power, and because of the limited number of signals available in the 20s, WTIC commanded national attention and brought Hartford to the world.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're... That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste for families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
You know, I'm starting to notice why certain people say that, you know, talk radio can be a little vicious and a little harsh, like some of the stuff that said is scathing. But I'm sorry, folks, with all due respect, I know that for some odd reason we've gotten into this world that believes that our elected officials are some sort of monarchy. I don't. And I never will. I understand exactly what their role is in all of this. They work for us, and that's always the way it's going to be. And respect is earned. And when you ignore your constituents, no matter who it is, whether they vote for you or not, the people that you serve, when you ignore them, when you play politics that don't involve the good of the people, you're slime to me. You don't have to like it. You could think that it's vitriolic. I don't care. Just so you understand. I don't. I understand the role. And I understand my role as well. So, if you want to play nice, go to Sesame Street. That being said, just announced Trump says no more debates. I read that. Not agreeing with it. I don't agree with it. Not for the reason that many people, I know a lot of people are upset about it. They think that he should go out there. Yeah, go back and get one more shot. Clean her clock. Now you know what she's like. No, that's not why. Not at all. I think she should have it in a place outside of ABC. It was a stacked deck at ABC. There needs to be another venue that's, pardon the phrasing, but fair and balanced, an honest debate. That one wasn't. But he has his reasons for whatever that may be. And I think that he's looking at it because all the polls that I saw last night and I don't know if you check them, the end result is, and again, 36 hours from the debate, it's actually turning out that Kamala Harris got a less favorable reaction from the debate. More and more people were agitated, not at just the debate, but of course with ABC. Now, ABC doesn't have to. ABC is going to be ABC, and they have their baked-in viewership, so they don't care. They're the number one, network news station. They don't have to worry about that. The backlash will never affect them. With all due respect, it won't. So they're going to be fine. But I'll get into that in a little bit more, and plus your phone calls. All right, let's get into the BPS Traffic Center with our good friend Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, I'm going to jump off. We'll do.
I think it was. We caught him in the middle of something there. Was he talking to his bookie?
Yes. Yes.
Who you? Buffalo? Are you betting on the Bills tonight or Miami?
I went with the Bills.
Oh, you went with the Bills? Okay.
I went with the Bills. Yeah, I think the Bills are they're gonna outsling them tonight. That's what I think. So yeah, my bookie's looking for some money. So I told him tomorrow's payday.
Yeah, you're like an ATM to him.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
What's that?
Fox Sports, a substantial Dolphins wager has turned one sports book into a Bills fan. So
really?
Somebody is really betting heavy on the Dolphins.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right. There
okay.
you go.
There you go. All right.
Well, as I told my bookie, payday's tomorrow, so I'll be down to see him.
No doubt.
Where I lose an arm or a leg. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, the ride southbound 91, you got delays 34 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. Northbound 91's a little.
Yeah, they trying to make me change my bet.
Oh, really?
22 up to 23 in Rocky.
Yeah, I picked the Dolphins, but if the sports book's hoping the Bills win, then
56 in 40.
That could be some phony baloney shit too.
Yeah.
To get the Dolphins up. So I'm gonna stick with the Dolphins.
Eastbound a little slow from I-84 out to exit 5A. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays. Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Now, 84 westbound in Cheshire, delays approaching 26 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slowing 17 to 18. 84 eastbound in Danbury. A little tight by exit 3. Again, some slow traffic from exit 9 in Newtown up to exit 11 on the eastbound side of 84. 95 south New Haven slows 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
All right, been a gorgeous afternoon again. We've got more of them on tap as we head through the next several days here. For tonight, clear to partly cloudy skies. Watch for some areas of late night fog forming, the low down to 54. Those areas of fog will carry on into the morning, may impact the commuting spot. Otherwise, it'll be a mostly sunny, beautiful late summer day to round out the week with a high of 86. Mostly sunny Saturday, gorgeous start to the weekend, right back to 86. Abundant sunshine Sunday, great day to be outdoors. Just don't forget the sunscreen. Sun's still strong at this point in September, the high of 84. Mostly sunny Monday, warm, the high of 80. Very warm Tuesday with some sunshine, the high of 85. Right now, Meriden 79. It is 77 in Mansfield. Bristol at 79. Hartford also 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store.
All right, you got full lines, and 1, 2, 3 of them have been on for 40 minutes plus.
Jesus
Christ. Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Ground level storage containers, road trailers, or mobile offices. Don't get stressed, get Eagle. Just call Eagle Leasing at 1-800-GET-EAGLE or get a quote at eagleleasing.com. I'm Brandon Eagle. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
Facilities managers, it's time to think inside the box. Storage trailers and ground level storage containers from Eagle Leasing are the way to go. I'm Mike Eagle. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or visit us at eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds.
Here we go.
Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535 or biglou.com.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. To the phones we go immediately, and thank you, everybody, for being so patient until, of course, I pick up your phone call and then you start chiding me for waiting so long. Please, keep it sweet. Keep it sweet. Tom is in Thomaston. How we doing, Tom?
Hey, hello.
How we
I don't
doing, sir?
mind waiting. I'm driving around waiting for a place to close so I can go in it. I'm in Canton. I think that's where Murphy has his home, or at least he did when he was my congressman. Which he got a super sweet deal on his interest rate.
Sure did.
Because of that, he's the you could berate him all you want. He is the worst.
Hey, look, he gives me the actual ammunition. The guy just hands it over to me every time he opens his mouth. Every time.
I think our two senators might be the two lamest senators in the country. I love Senator Kennedy of Louisiana, man. He is so great.
He is. He is, and I would love, you know what? I would love to see the two of those men in a room together having a debate, because John Kennedy would mop the floor with him.
Yeah, he would make them melt. He'd melt into a big pile of goop.
What was your call about, Tom? I'm sorry to keep you holding. What was going on?
Yeah, so I think that is it Ken, the soft-spoken professor?
Yes, Ken, yes.
Yeah. He seems like a nice guy, Reese, but I think he's worse than kind of the bombastic guys like Tim. Today he's I don't know if he said it before. He said he was a college professor in Springfield.
Yes.
And he liked the debate because they fact-checked Trump.
I heard that.
He didn't say anything about, man, I did not like the part when they didn't fact-check Kamala, and they could have put to bed that the BS lie that Trump there's going to be a bloodbath.
Well, you know,
they could have put 67 million people listening. They could have put that statement in context.
That's correct.
Stop that nonsense.
Exactly. But you know what? When Ken said that, when he said the thing about the moderators were great for fact checking Donald Trump, I already understood where the bias was with Ken. I could have gone down that rabbit hole, but I thought it was more important to say to him the line that I said at the end. It was like, look, you're so busy judging the man, you're believing the opposite. You want to be contrarian to the man that you'd already despise by not even being curious about what he said. Forget who said it. Find out whether or not what he said has any merit, regardless of the fact that you hate him or love him. Just investigate.
I understand that, but that's my point. Because he's so calm and cool and soft-spoken, I'd like to listen to him read a novel to me. But he's worse. He's telling spongehead college kids.
That's right.
You know how great the Democrats are and how evil. And can I say one thing about telling the Democrats telling lies? The first big lie was the Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thought that
there were weapons of mass destruction because Bill Clinton. That's right. Bill Clinton told us that in February of '98, if I'm correct.
Yes. Every leader of every democracy, all the 4 or 5 top intelligence agencies, they all believed he made the biggest con in the world, making the whole world believe he had
weapons of mass destruction.
You know, they kind of stayed away from him.
Tom, thank you. Let me move on to Fred in Middletown. I appreciate you, sir. Tom, how are you doing, sir? I mean, Fred, sorry. Fred, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Real quick show critique. The folks in the cheap seats are going home with some baseballs today, I'll tell you what. And that debunk, deconstruct, turn inside out of how they debunked him on the cat story there, whatever it was. And, well, yeah, no, we called the mayor, and they told us, okay, call Mayor, West Hartford Mayor Sherry Cantor and ask her if there's an international theft ring operating in West Hartford and if her house was burglarized. You know, yeah, she was, and there was. Yeah, you don't hear about it. You know? So, the mayor assured us, no, there's nothing like that going on here.
Oh, no, and that's the whole thing. It's like this was the whole thing about Springfield, the thing in Springfield, Ohio that was so interesting is that the city manager is saying that nothing like this is going on. But how many, and the part that the reason why it always flips me out, right, is that people accept the fact that the city manager says it's not going on. But at the same time, when there is corruption going on in the state or there's robberies going on in the state and the police officers or the police department says, well, that's not as rampant as you believe. When they find out that they were hiding it from the public because it would affect tourism or it would affect other facets of their bottom line, people go, oh, that's so typical of the bureaucrats. They're hiding the evidence from someone because they're concerned about money. And in this case, something like this, which would clearly alarm a community, a city official comes forward and says, no, it's not happening. And people take him at his word. But the only reason why is because the person who's bringing it up is Donald Trump. Right? And I had a friend who says, well, the police said they received no reports. And I said, wait a minute. The cop killing, the black man without a weapon killing prejudiced racist police told you that this isn't going on. Now, all of a sudden, they're the pillars of honesty. And he immediately didn't want to talk to me anymore. I'm like, yeah, you guys are really particular about when the police are supposed to be believed and when they can't be. So it just shows the hypocrisy. And I laugh at him and I just go, I was telling him the same thing. I wave him off. I'm like, get out of here. You're a moron.
Quick closing shot. John Legend is telling you to get your shot.
Well, I wouldn't listen to him anyway. That guy has always been 4 foot nothing. He's knee high to a grasshopper.
And then Pfizer's doing the most borderline vulgar. They're saying, have you got your shots together? And then they're bleeping and, as if have you got your bleep together? Really disgusting. They're pushing that stuff, man.
I'm not particularly happy with that because I can't even do that. Let me go, friend. Mike, White Mike.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. White Mike, how we doing, sir?
Man, so the reason that David Muir was so desperate to squash the Haitian immigrants are eating cat story is because short of a Haitian attacking a Swiftie convention, Haitians killing cats is the most abhorrent thing to their core vote.
You're probably right. I mean, that didn't it? I mean, thank God that Randy actually made that point because I didn't even realize it. It was like he had it. David Muir had that response ready in the holster. Nobody knew that Trump was going to make that claim, and he was there. He was ready.
These women, emotionally weak men, don't care if immigrants are ruining the lower middle class and lower class Americans' lives. They don't care if they're attacking some, pretty white college girl in Georgia or killing some poor girl. They don't care. But if immigrants are killing cats, there's nothing white women love more than cats. And I love cats, but not like white women do. And to squash controversy, yes, the Haitians are eating cats. You know what they eat in Haiti? Everything.
Yes.
Because they have the food.
You were the person. Folks, by the way, full disclosure, White Mike and I have known each other since, 2012. Right? White Mike is a huge supporter of Reese on the Radio. But he and I have known each other for 2012. Good friends, and I consider him a personal friend of mine. But he was one of the first people when barbecue was going nuts in Haiti. And there were sort of trickling stories that were coming out about the cannibalism in Haiti. And it wasn't that I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to hear it. Like, because that's gross. Like, if it's gotten that bad that people are eating each other, then it's gross. And I was very, very, skittish about whether or not the stories were true. I really didn't want to test the waters to find out. But then White Mike sent me a video of the actual footage of it happening, and it was over. Because then I had to know, And sure enough, Mike, you tell them it was everywhere.
Yeah, it was everywhere. They freaked out and tried to get it banned, and they put out misinformation that, oh, it didn't happen this time. It happened last year.
Yeah.
As if they made it better. But, oh, no, they totally stopped the cannibalism since 2023.
Exactly. Cannibalism. Oh, that's so 2023.
Man, look, if you're going to get immigrants, right, and someone told you, let's think about it. The Northeast of America is called New England, right?
Yeah.
And it's called New England because the people who came there tried to make England anew, right? New York, New Amsterdam, all new European cities. Nobody is going to visit a place called New Port-au-Prince.
Fair enough. I'm not going to lie. New Port-au-Prince would probably not. It wouldn't roll off the tongue.
Places become what they import. Why would you want to import third world cannibalistic poverty? These people haven't seen doorknobs and flush toilets their entire lives.
Yeah.
They're going to make to Springfield, Ohio?
That
insanity.
You are one. You know what? When you say people, that's a difficult truth to recognize. What you just said, doorknobs and toilets. Like the two things that most of us would take for, I mean, come on, who doesn't take those two things for granted? But in Haiti, it's nowhere to be found. It's nowhere. That's what their livelihood is every day. Something as simple as a doorknob you can't find in most places. It's ridiculous.
It's destruction of the country, man. This is not unintentional. It's no coincidence happening in Europe too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and it's getting bad there too. Thank you, Mike. As always, sir. I appreciate you, sir. Let's get to Joe in Hartford. How are we doing, Joe?
Hi, New Hampshire.
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's in wrong. How are we doing, Joe?
Hey, pretty good. I got a good idea for your show. You're bringing up Chris Murphy, who, I've informed you a lot about his ties to the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
He's got multiple mansions. He's worth about $13 million in real estate now, and he was $125,000 in debt back in 2000 before he got into politics.
Yeah.
You talk about the Biden crime family corruption. Chris Murphy's a close second. He's a little more under the radar than the Biden family, but why don't you get his opponent for the Senate race in 54 days as a guest on your show, have some people call in, invite Murphy on, though I don't think he'll come.
Of course not.
But you should help expose his corruption. Maybe we could turn a Senate seat, in Connecticut this year.
Why not? You know what? I love the idea. In fact, I think they've reached out to me already. I will give them a call this week.
And you know what? You should look this up. It's a soundbite you should capture and use. 2 Sundays ago on Fox Sunday, Chris Murphy was a guest.
Yes, he was.
And they were talking to him about this and that. And he specifically said, I think I'm quoting him, they're talking about the inflation. He says, the inflation's all gone now. It's down to this percent.
Right.
And they pressed him on it because Fox will press you other than the other stations. Chris Murphy stated that once the Democrats got the inflation reduction bill passed, that's when the inflation started coming down to where it is today.
Yeah.
The guy's a bozo. That's when the inflation started to skyrocket.
Which shows
he said that.
And that's the reason why, and you're 100% right, because I do know that clip with Shannon Bream. And again, he was going to be a part of my segment called The Sunday Papers, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Now that you've mentioned this, I'm just going to add it for Mondays. You're right. He did say that, and I watched that video, and I just went, how does he get away with that? Because
Well, he has low IQ, and that's proven before he became a politician. His state of affairs as a person was a person with low IQ that can't save money or know how to budget money. But now he's budgeting taxpayers' money.
Exactly.
His own money. Now, I caught some of Kamala Harris's rally in North Carolina hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
She's screaming at the crowd, Trump is going to suspend the Constitution if he's elected president.
Yeah.
She got onto the Senate race in North Carolina, and she said the guy that Trump has personally appointed is going to make abortion illegal in North Carolina if he's elected. And the crowd is going, berserk.
Yeah.
And she's lying. She's lying.
But listen, here's the thing. Did you hear the story behind that story? Did you know that the rally goers had to be bussed in?
and they pay them to.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it's the optics mean nothing. Kamala Harris is literally screaming at the clouds. The people that she's bringing in are just paid actors. She's screaming at the clouds.
Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris, on Twitter X.
Yeah.
That's a big deal,
No. I don't think so. Hear me out, Joe. Let me tell you why it's not a big deal. Because if it was a big deal, whomever it is that loves Taylor Swift should be running to Kamala Harris's rallies, and there wouldn't be any need to bust anyone in. Right now, every one of her stadium concerts, her little stadium speeches, should be filled to the brim with Taylor Swift of fans filling the seats. But that isn't happening. And we'll see in the next week if they will. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center again with Mark Christopher. I'm sorry, Joe. Got to go.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Harper right now, 91 southbound, we are looking pretty good overall. We are coming to you from the hello. Here we go. We're coming to you from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. Northbound 91 that moves well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up 50.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Joe and Hartford, but
For eastbound delays,
That's okay.
44 down to the boat.
It probably auto-corrected for
A
you.
little tight over
no, when we put it into the phone system, the first time we put the name in, whatever they're from in, it just saves it in there. So I don't know why. And it was a Connecticut number too, so that's why I didn't think nothing of it.
Into the Mixmaster 80.
I don't know if he in Connecticut and just from.
Yeah, that might be
a tight 3 to 5 in
What
Danbury.
is
Again
this?
from 9 in Newtown to 11 in
Agent sent me
Newtown.
another.
95 southbound delays from
I'm
46
sure it's about the
down to
debate.
44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the
message
8
for Donald Trump.
WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Eric Hogarth, Money Wisdom. This week we'll talk about the best place to retire in the United States, or at least the cheapest. We're also going to address questions that are probably on your mind and everyone else's. Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 right here on TIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of the afternoon, a beautiful, mostly sunny and warm day, the high of 83. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. There'll be some areas of late night.
What's she talking about?
Though, with
Oh,
low
no,
down
it was
to
an article
54.
from Eric
For Friday, some areas of morning fog
Erickson.
may impact the travel. Otherwise,
It's a
mostly
letter to
sunny,
Donald
another
Trump.
beautiful day
And
to
it
round
says,
out the week. The
if
high
you
up
don't
to
win this
86
election,
with
you're
a light
going to
breeze
jail
out of the
between the
south.
judge in
Then
New
another
York and the
gorgeous
special
day to
prosecutor in
kick off the
Washington,
weekend.
D.C.
Saturday, mostly
D.C.
sunny
It's
skies,
likely
a high of 86.
it is likely
Jason
that
Caterina
simple.
in the WTIC
And for the
Weather
first
Center.
time since February of this year, I'm not convinced you would
WTIC
win
News Talk
this
1080.
election
Don't
if it
miss
were
out on
held
important
today.
updates
That's what he
from
wrote.
breaking news,
I'm not reading.
weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration.
I don't think they would if they convict Biden. Why they gonna convict Trump?
Well, they have
Always
to,
live on the free
but it's
Odyssey
never
app.
going to happen.
5 o'clock, Hartford temperatures 80 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A chain of events in New Britain saw police investigate a burglary, a crash, and an altercation, after which shots were fired. Now, one person is dead. As police were investigating the burglary on Kelsey Street just before 9 this morning, they were alerted to a crash just around school drop-off time. That prompted a nearby elementary school and a learning center to go into lockdown. Police Chief Matt Marino.
As officers responded, they did locate one adult male victim on scene. New Britain EMS was quick to respond and began providing life-saving efforts to that individual, and were able to transport him to New Britain Hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries.
The chief says the incidents appear to be related. The victim was identified as 25-year-old Malcolm Sprouse. A man and a woman are dead in Ansonia, and what police there say was a murder-suicide this morning. They received the call around 5 a.m. Detectives say 45-year-old Miguelina Lebron was found in her Westfield Avenue home with gunshot wounds. She died in an area hospital. 47-year-old Yanis Tavares, her ex-husband, was dead at the scene. 2 other people in the home were not injured. Police Lieutenant Patrick Lynch says the victim moved in just last March.
She lived there with her 3 children. Actually, it was all 3 of their children together. So she lived there with their 3 children. He was residing in Bridgeport. They had divorced. I don't know when they divorced.
Police Chief Wayne Williams says there are resources for those who are victims of domestic violence, either through their local police department or through a number of domestic violence agencies across the state. Attorney General Merrick Garland is firing back on critics in a speech to Justice Department employees condemning threats and intimidation.
It is outrageous that you have to face these unfounded attacks because you are doing what is right and upholding the rule of law.
Republicans have criticized Garland for politicizing the department. He has denied it. There's a movement underway to make sure a dark moment in this country's history never happens again. Here's CBS's Wendy Gillette.
The federal government does not want another January 6th. The Secret Service says it will dramatically increase security precautions when Congress meets on January 6, 2025, to count states' electoral votes. The Department of Homeland Security will designate the date as a national special security event, which is the same level as inaugurations and political conventions. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Connecticut's aging voting tabulators have a reputation for breaking down, so the state is buying 2,700 new tabulators. The new machines will be in place in 9 communities, including Vernon and Hamden, this election day. They'll be phased in for the rest of the state next year. Alex Russell is director of the Yukon Voting Technology Research Lab, which tested the new model.
The number one thing that a state can do to secure its elections is to adopt physical ballots, paper ballots. And, Connecticut has been steadfast in its adoption of paper ballots. These new machines, not only support but demand paper ballots. And so I think that voters can really be confident.
The new machines from a Nebraska company cost the state about $20 million. The Secretary of the State's office says they have the latest security features, a clearer display, and can count faster. New York City Police Commissioner has tendered his resignation this week. A week after his phone was seized as part of a federal probe. Mayor Eric Adams.
Commissioner Caban dedicated his life to making our city safer. And we saw a drop in crime for 13 of the 14 months he served as commissioner.
Retired FBI official Tom Donlin will serve as interim commissioner. On Wall Street, the Dow gained 235 points today. The Nasdaq was up 174 and the S&P was up 41 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is the...
1 minute.
As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Honey, did you turn the thermostat down again? It's freezing in here. I can see my breath.
Jeez, why is it always my fault? I didn't touch it.
I knew you should have gotten the heating system checked out. We always forget. You better call the Bee.
Call the Bee for your $89 preseason system check to ensure you'll be cuddled up on the couch all winter.
In 10, line of first.
I don't even Netflix and chill anymore.
Don't call the Bee now. Call them right now. Just call the Bee. CallTheBee.com. That's call, the letter B.com. Call the Bee today.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. Yeah, man, it's the 5 o'clock focus. By the way, tomorrow's 5 o'clock focus. I think we're going to do it on Friday tomorrow because I just got this great post from Pianki. And you guys don't know who he is. I know who he is. I've known Pianki for, I want to say, close to maybe 5 years now. Pianki's a huge supporter of Reese on the Radio. And he just wrote something about Kamala Harris inside the Facebook post of this show. If you want to read it, you can. But I think I'm going to make this the 5 o'clock focus tomorrow. I won't tell you what it is until tomorrow. But if you are interested, just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Join us right here live so you can read what Pianki just wrote. I think it's an interesting question. I have some doubts about what he wrote. But if you want to read it, go there now. Today's 5 o'clock focus is on the same theme of animals, since we're talking about dogs and cats and all that other stuff. Story out of the Hartford Courant. Dog allegedly dies in Connecticut woman's care. She used a ruse to make its owner believe that the animal was alive. Not for a long time, just about a week or so. So it made me think about this, and it was part of a question that we had not too long ago about a woman who was in care of some children, and she was driving around with them. And remember, the 6-year-old boy fell out of the back seat because he wasn't in a child seat, and he rolled out, and she ended up driving over him. And I asked the question that time: would you allow the person who's watching your child to drive them around? Well, this one is kind of in that same vein. Would you allow? Like, what would be the criteria for someone to watch your pet, dog or cat, while you were away? Let's say you go on a cruise for 2 weeks. You got to go on a family vacation and you can't bring pets. I know some people would bring their pets. I know who you are. You obviously, I don't, you're probably going to say what you get. No, I'm bringing the dog with me. I get it. I'm talking about people who can't or wouldn't bring their pet. Who would you leave it with? A professional, a friend, or would you allow somebody to come over to your house and pet sit? There are a lot of those, but the reason why I'm asking is because this woman was supposed to be training this dog, and the dog ended up getting out of its cage or whatever, a confinement, and got hit by a car, according to the story. And then they kept the dog dead in the house for a little while, and then buried it on the side of the road. Oh, that's awful. So, 5 o'clock focus. When it comes to your pet, who would you leave it with? Professionals, like a kennel or whatever the case? Would you allow people in your house? Would you leave it with a relative? What would you do with your pet? Because I know you people are pet people. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Mark, you have any pets? I don't think I've ever asked you. You got two dogs.
2 dogs.
Okay, so you got to go to Walt Disney World for 2 weeks. Where are the dogs going? To a kennel, to a friend, or somebody coming to the house to dog sit?
Well, they've been to a kennel a couple times.
Those are expensive.
Oh yeah, you're looking at $100 a day, if at least.
Damn.
Or we have a lady that comes over now and watches them.
Okay, so a dog sitter.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Huh,
She's
that's
great. And when she comes over, the boys jump on her, so you know they love her. They're jumping on her and barking at her, and they're wagging her tail. So, yeah, we're lucky we have a great person that watches our dogs. So
yeah,
it's very good.
Some people are lucky like that. I know some people who cat sit and dog sit and all that stuff, but I think more people would choose that over the other one because $100 a day while you're on vacation with the hundreds of thousands you're going to be spending there.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to. Yeah, if you got dogs, man, it's expensive, and then you got 2.
Yeah,
that bills alone, it's staggering. But I love my guys, so I pay.
I hear you. Yeah, you got to if you have them.
Absolutely. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28.
I'm actually going to ask it on a different level, Johnny. That's why I said I didn't want to give up the goods on this one. I'm going to give a different angle on Bianchi's question. But no, it's not about so much as citizenship. But I get where you're going. It's not. I'm not going to the crazy place. Trust me. I'm better. I'm much more gifted than that.
To the Aragoni Bridge. Again, some slow traffic from 31 up to 32 on 9 northbound in Berlin. Westbound side of 84, you got slow traffic 26 up to exit 22 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing 17 to 18. 84 eastbound in Newtown delays from 9 up to exit 11. Southbound Parkway, you're slowing approaching exit 60 toward the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway tight 59 into the West Rock, and 95 southbound delays 46 to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
After a beautiful day, clear to partly cloudy tonight with some areas of late night fog forming, the low down to 54. Then watch out for some of those areas of fog in the morning, may impact the early morning commute. Otherwise, mostly sunny, very warm to round out the week. A light breeze out of the south, the high of 86. Mostly sunny, beautiful start to the weekend Saturday, the high right back at 86. Abundant sunshine Sunday, nice day to be outdoors, the high of 84. Mostly sunny Monday, the high of 80. Very warm Tuesday with some sun, the high of 85. So summer is sticking around for us for the time being. Now Bristol 79, Mansfield 77, 79 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Paid for by government. Did you hear?
Now, Kathy, that's a hell of a trip going to Japan. You better leave. You got to leave the dog with somebody else.
1932
I'm sorry, Roland. What'd you say? 1 minute?
Shiny as the day they were. Yes, sir. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling the secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1932 dated gold coin featuring Lady Liberty with an Indian war headdress and a majestic eagle. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1932 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 92 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-520-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus over a 50 and 10. Free with every order. Call 1-800-520-6468 now to secure your 1932 $10 gold Indian coins before they sell out. Don't wait. You must act fast. Call now.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. It's Reese on the radio. Your phone call's coming up soon, but I want to share this story with you. It was told to me by James Montgomery, my former best friend for over 30 years. A guy goes to the Bahamas for 2 weeks, and he takes his cat over to his brother's house and says, hey, I need you to watch my cat. I love this cat. Make sure you take care of the cat. I'm going to the Bahamas. The guy goes to the Bahamas. He has a great time. He comes back home, goes to his brother's house, and he says, okay, brother, how you doing? He goes, hey, man, how are you? He's like, how was your trip? It's like, oh, it was great. Water was great. Beaches were great. Met a woman. Probably going to start dating her. I'm going out to dinner. But you know what? We can talk about that later. Just coming to get my cat. And he goes, oh, yeah, about your cat. Your cat's dead. And the brother starts crying. It's like, what do you mean my cat's dead? He goes, yeah, I'm sorry. Your cat, he died. And it's sorry. Well, why didn't you call me? And it was like, well, you were on vacation, and, I really didn't want to disturb your vacation, but, the cat's dead. He goes, I can't believe you, man. It's horrible. I can't believe you just tell me that my cat's dead. Just you absolutely no remorse whatsoever. I bring the cat to you, and you just tell me it's dead. He was like, well, what was I supposed to tell you? The cat died, and I'm telling you that the cat's dead. He was like, well, you could have let me down easy. You could have told me something. He was like, what could I have told you when it came to your cat dying? He goes, well, you could have started off and said something like, my cat's on the roof, and we can't get her down when I called you the first couple of days that I was in. He goes, I don't know how that would have helped you if I told you that the cat was on the roof and we couldn't get her down. And he goes, well, maybe the next day you would have told me that the cat finally jumped down, but, he landed on both of his paws, and both of his paws were broken, but he was, a little leery, but he was resting comfortably. I was like, okay, can you get to the point? Why would this let you down easy that the cat had died? He goes, well, you could have said you took it to the vet, and because of its injuries that it sustained, that it was better, that the cat was put down, and the cat was now dead. You could have told me that. He goes, okay, I get what you're saying. I could have been much more delicate in explaining to you that the cat had died. I'm really, really sorry. And the brother starts crying. He goes, I can't believe it. This is awful. My cat, I love my cat. I was really looking forward to come home and meet him. But now he says, God, I can't believe this. And he looks at his brother and he goes, all right, I guess I'll head on home. He says, by the way, have you spoken to Mom? And the brother looks him in the face and he says, Mom's on the roof and we can't get her down. I'm just going to applaud myself now. So, with that being said, let's get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. George is in St. Louis. How are we doing, George?
Hi, Reese. I've been on hold for 46
I know
minutes.
I owe it to you.
I'm going to ignore your 5 o'clock focus.
Go for it.
Here's what I think is the key to the election. They're still after the first woman voter.
Mm-hmm.
The first woman president.
Yep.
They're back to Hillary versus Trump.
Oh yeah.
Now all Trump has to do is use the fact that Kamala is a communist. That means you go back to the destruction of the free market. You go back to the 1930s because you're going to have unemployment and probably shortages all over the place.
I would expect nothing less from her administration.
Not only are the shelves going to be bare, but the shelves are going to be gone. So as far as the women go, there's going to be no designer clothes. You're back to a 1930s economy, a crash. You'll probably see cuts in public services. You'll see rationing and food and energy. Women will be wearing probably 2 sweaters because
there'd be no heat, right? No heat.
There's no heat. Exactly right. Now, and this is what you have to drive home to the fairer sex.
Yeah.
The cosmetics and the niceties in life are gone under communist rule.
Right.
Under Kamala's economy. That's what you have to drive home to the fairer sex. That things are going to change for the worse.
The awfuls are the ones that are going to be voting for Kamala Harris, and I'm sure you know the acronym of affluent. What is it? Affluent female, white. What is it? Affluent female white. Is it awful? Yeah, I can't remember how it is, but it's something along those lines. It's like affluent female white liberals, something like that. But yeah, those are the ones that are going to vote for Kamala Harris. I don't think that has a large sum in any way. They've lost men entirely, and I don't think that they would trust Kamala Harris with the economy at all. I think that's the reason why she's wholeheartedly lost men in this election. I'm sorry for making you wait, George. I promise I will give you first dibs tomorrow.
It's a destruction of everything.
Exactly. Thank you, sir. Lori's in Glastonbury. How you doing, Lori?
I'm good, except that I feel like I need a T-shirt that says, "Just because I'm white and own a cat does not mean I'm an idiot."
I don't think you need that. If there's anything in the world that you should be fearful of, I think they said, what is it? The only thing that's being beaten in Ohio, the only thing that's being attacked in Ohio are I want to get the phrasing right. The only cats and dogs that are being attacked in Ohio are the Bengals and the Browns. And my response to that was, perhaps they should make them play the Haitians and they'll run faster. I'm just wondering. That's all I can think of. So yeah, I know it was pretty lame. So I don't think that I don't know what anybody else's problem is with this story, other than the fact that maybe they may have to deal with an uncomfortable truth about a group of people they know nothing about, that they are trying to victimize, who probably don't even feel like they're victims. That's all.
But hang on. Whoa there, Sparky, because I called in for the focus as well.
Yes, please. I want to hear it.
Okay, so yes, I am a white woman with a cat.
Okay.
My cat is a black cat. Black cats in Japan are considered good luck.
Oh.
And I lived in Japan for 2 years, so I had no problem having a black cat. Anywho, when it comes to my going away, I normally am just cool with trusting friends or family to come and look in on her. Right now I have a wonderful set of neighbors who live underneath me, who one of them used to be a vet tech.
Okay.
And so they come up and they look in on her. And so I'm cool with that. And like, I'm not one of those people though that like can't handle. Yes, I love my cat, but if she had cancer, I would put her down.
So,
I'm not that person that would make her go through all of whatever treatments that she doesn't understand, because that would be selfish and stupid.
But the deal is, if I'm getting you right, Lori, is that you want to keep your cat in its natural habitat, your home. You would not take the cat and take them like to a friend's home or a relative's home while you were out of town. You would just in other words, you would have someone come to your home so that the cat wasn't inconvenienced in a new environment.
Well, she's pretty skittish. She's by herself.
Right.
I'm pretty much her world. So to take her out of this house, she would probably just hide under, wherever I brought her, she would just hide under the bed the entire time I was gone.
I have friends. I had a friend, my wife's best friend, Misty, brought her cats to my house. And all they did was hide underneath the refrigerator. And I tried to be friendly with them, and I would walk through it, and I thought I had rodents in my house because they would just dart out to everything, and I would get freaked out. I was like, what the hell is that? And it would be the cat, and I'm, you know me and snakes, right, and other vermin. I just literally thought I had a big orange rat running through the house. Are
you afraid of snakes?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm really afraid of snakes. Huh?
Why?
They don't speak English. You can't tell them to stop. They don't listen to you. Now people always say, it's like, what the hell does that mean? You cannot reason with a snake. You can't say, no, now don't bite me. I'm a good guy. Just can't reason with them. That's all.
Snakes don't discriminate is what you're saying.
Yeah, they don't discriminate. And I know they will bite me. I'm perfect for biting. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you. Joe is in Simsbury. Joe, I'm hoping that you heard my opening monologue this afternoon.
Unfortunately, I did not.
Okay. Well, you were literally the inspiration of it, and it was about the article that I found today from 2019 talking about Haitians and the history of them eating cats in their homeland.
Yeah, it's it's a tradition.
Indeed.
In their world, it's meat is meat.
That's right.
And for people to say, "Oh, that's outrageous," it's a delicacy for people primarily in the countryside, and it doesn't mean that it actually happened in Springfield, Ohio. But I will get to that because there's some new information on that.
Please.
But it's not out of the realm of possibility, and it falls in the category of probability.
Indeed. So what did you learn?
So, one of the things as I'm observing this whole thing is I see a real dichotomy between people that blindly believe what people in government tell them and people who, even if it's our side and we're looking at Trump, that we are much more apt to go look for other sources to verify or dispute what we hear. And the left they don't do that. And one of the examples that I'll go real quick here is people should recall the Virginia city, I don't recall the name, the Board of Education, where the father got arrested during the meeting because he said his daughter was raped by a trans.
Leesburg, Virginia, in Loudoun County.
Yeah, so, that was a lie because there was a motivation that these people had. And, there is that city manager, this is what I found out, his name is Brian Heck in Springfield, Ohio.
Correct.
And Brian owns rental properties that have Haitians in it.
Wow.
And Brian would also fall in the category, if you look at his exact words about, we don't have any credible reports.
Correct.
He's a city manager.
That's
so
correct.
What he has to do is he has to answer to other people in terms of how he responds to ABC's questions to him. And you just got to look at it and be logical of not just about this situation, but a lot of other situations where you just have to ask, what is the motivation for this person and the way they're answering the question?
So Joe, just to stop you for a quick second, because there's a lot to unpack there, but that particular statement you just made is bombshell. So Brian Heck, the city manager, that David Muir was quoting, and I want to make sure I get the quote up here because I'm pretty sure that the people, who know better know this. This is the city manager that David Muir was talking about. Here's the quote.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals.
All right, so David, you said Heck is his last name.
Brian Heck.
Yeah, Brian Heck is housing Haitian immigrants on his properties or on his property.
Yeah, you can't blame him because the government is paying more than the market rate for Springfield, Ohio.
Which is exactly the point I brought up in the monologue, that many of these people are getting kicked out of their homes. They're going to renovate those homes and then give them to Haitian migrants because the government will give them top dollar to house them.
Yeah, it's so when he says what he said, assuming that ABC said it accurately, he as a city manager, he doesn't want his city destroyed, first of all.
Right.
He has his career he needs to worry about, not just the present, but any future political aspirations he may have.
Indeed.
And there are people in his ears talking to him about what you can and cannot say with regards to what's going on in your community. And then they turn around and they send the state troopers down there and $2.5 million.
Just put them on hold.
Okay.
To the city of Springfield from the state of Ohio.
Joe, stay on hold for me. I want to take you on the other half of this, on the other side of this break. Okay. Joe in Simsbury is with us, and he's going to give us some more details on what he was able to find. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28 on the Hartford-Weathersfield line. A little slow down as you move between 23 and 22 in Cromwell. Now, northbound 91, that's an easy ride. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound delays 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 eastbound slowing from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound's a little tight coming off of I-84 out to exit 5C in East Hartford. If you're traveling on 3 northbound, you'll see some delays now as you move into Glastonbury up to the Route 2 ramps. If you're traveling 9 northbound into Middletown, delays approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Again, some slow traffic 9 northbound by exit 32 in Berlin. 84 eastbound, Waterbury slowing 17 up to 18. Westbound 84 is tied up 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Dedbury slowing by 3. 84 eastbound again tight from 9 in Newtown up to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 63 down to 60 in Hamden. And 95 southbound you're slowing from 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
With fall around the corner and everyone back to their busy routines, finding time for dental care can be tough. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester is open 7 days a week with late hours. Get the care you need when it's convenient for you. Call 860-730-6030 or columbiaimplantcenter.com.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of the afternoon, beautiful, mostly sunny and warm, the high of 83. Clear to partly cloudy tonight. We'll get some areas of late night fog forming, the low down to 54. Then for Friday, some areas of morning fog may impact travel. Otherwise, mostly sunny and very warm to round out the week. There'll be a light breeze out of the south, the high up to 86. Saturday, mostly sunny, beautiful start to the weekend. Light breeze out of the east-northeast and the high right back to 86. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
79 degrees at 5:30. I'm John Silva in New Britain. Police are trying to piece together a burglary, crash, and shots fired incident believed to all be connected. One person is dead. Officers were called to Kelsey Street just before 9 at the height of school drop-off at a nearby elementary and learning center. When a shelter-in-place was implemented, crash occurred following the burglary, and an altercation ensued, which police say prompted the firing of shots. A man and woman are dead in what Ansonia police say was a murder-suicide this morning. Officers were called to the home on Westfield Avenue. When they arrived, they found 45-year-old Miguelina Lebron with gunshot wounds. She died in an area hospital. Her ex-husband, 47-year-old Yanis Tavares, was dead at the scene. 2 other people in the home were not injured. In Thompson, the investigation is continuing in connection with what state police are calling a suspicious fire Wednesday night in town. Police and fire personnel are investigating at Quantic Town Farm Road. One person was critically injured. There's no word yet on a cause. In Plainfield, crash occurred this morning between a school bus and a garbage truck in the Moosip section. It was around 8:45. The vehicles collided at Main and Church Streets. Bus driver, a school staffer at Shepherd Hill Elementary, and 5 students were taken to an area hospital to get checked out. The the garbage truck driver was not injured, but was cited for failure to stop at a stop sign. Vice President Harris and former President Trump each making a beeline for swing states today. Harris holding rallies in Charlotte and Greensboro, North Carolina. Trump is in Tucson, Arizona. Markets finished up on Wall Street today. The Dow ahead 235 points, the Nasdaq up 174, and the S&P gained 41 points. Yanks and Red Sox from Fenway tonight. We've got it 6:15 here on the radio. In the Eastern League, the Yard Goats play at Akron, 6:45 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation. Because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special, both for you and your partner. At Northeast Men's Health, we're the leader in treating ED in the area. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you.
Prescriptions require an online consult. Provider who will determine if
Okay.
appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com.
All right, line of verse.
.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
Back to the phones we go with Joe in Simsbury, who's always fantastic when he calls up here. So we've got this information that Brian Heck, city manager in Springfield, Ohio, has pretty much a conflict of interest, if I'm hearing this correctly, Joe. He's telling people, in ABC News in particular, that there are no credible reports of cats or animals being eaten in the city of Springfield, but he is housing Haitians. Is there anything more to that other than that story? And by the way, why can't we find that anywhere?
Well, I had to search on the internet to be able to find that because Google didn't put it on the first
Sure
page.
enough, didn't.
But one of the things, somebody just sent this to me while they were listening. It was a J.D. Vance tweet where he talks about the last several weeks of his office getting inquiries from actual residents of Springfield who were making these accusations that pets and local wildlife were being abducted by Haitian migrants. And he says, and this is reasonable, he says it's possible, of course, that all these rumors will turn out to be false.
Mm-hmm.
But then he lists different things about what's going on in that community now that we know about the child that was murdered by the Haitian migrant
Mm-hmm.
who has no right to be here, the TB, the HIV, they can't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
But then he says this, rents have risen so fast that many Springfield families can't afford to put a roof over their head.
Indeed.
And what a great example of how the government, and we see this in New York City with the hotels,
right?
Where they're giving the hotels all this money, far more money than the paying customer would give them, to house illegal immigrants. So these people are going to run a business just like Brian Heck, and they're going to take the money that is provided them. And I'm not in any way saying that Brian Heck has removed anyone from any property he has. No one I've not seen that, but it's just that there is a financial conflict of interest as I see it.
Right.
And the only other thing I'll say is that I'm sure there's people sitting here saying, "Oh, it's ridiculous," and these people are just lying about what's going on. And I started off talking about people in government and how they have motivations that don't always align with people like you and I. And the one that just popped in my mind was how much were we hearing from people in Aurora, Colorado, that the stories of the Venezuelan gangs taking over the apartment complex were false.
That's right. And
here's where the problem is, that we as a country we need to modify it somehow. We can't eliminate it, but I've talked about sovereign immunity before. That if I was an elected official, I could lie to you folks every single day. Nothing's going to happen to me other than I might get voted out. But if I'm telling lies, it's because someone is promising me something that, we'll take care of you, Joe, when you get out of office.
Yeah.
Until we can change something so that these people who are blatantly lying to us have to get civil penalties or criminal penalties, we're just going to keep going down the
rabbit hole.
Hell.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep,
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate the update, man. And that's great to, again, more and more information coming out. I appreciate it. Let's get back into the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, this traffic report being brought to you by Whittlesey. If you're on the eastbound side of I-84, you got delays from 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Boakey Bridge. Westbound 84 tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. If you are traveling on the southbound side of 91, delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, that moves well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 eastbound's a little slow. I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. A little bit tight east of the river now. On 84 eastbound between 58 and 59. 2 eastbound's a good ride, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound delays 22 up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound also slowing in Berlin as you're approaching it by exit 32. Now on the eastbound side of I-84, that's just a little slow now as you move by exit 26 in Cheshire. Westbound 84 is tight 26 to 25A, again from 23 up to exit 17 on the Waterbury-Middlebury line. If you're traveling 84 eastbound in Newtown, you've got delays approaching 9 to 11 on the eastbound side of 84. Southbound Parkway slows 63 in North Haven down to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound delays 46 to 44 in New Haven. Whittlesey wants your business to succeed. Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at wadvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A quiet evening and overnight ahead of us under clear to partly cloudy skies. It'll be mild but comfortable with some areas of late night fog forming, the low down to 54. Those areas of fog continue into the morning, may impact the morning commute in spots. Then it becomes mostly sunny and very warm to round out the week with a high of 86. Beautiful day to start out the weekend Saturday, mostly sunny, the high right back to 86. Still abundant sunshine Sunday, a nice day for outdoor activities. Just don't forget your sunscreen. A high of 84, mostly sunny Monday, the high of 80. Still very warm with some sunshine Tuesday, the high back up to 85. Right now, Waterbury 73, New Haven 79, also 79 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you at goodfeet.com.
Your vacation possibilities just got more exciting. Enjoy connections to over 20 cities across Europe when you fly non-stop to Dublin from Hartford with Aer Lingus. Great fares from Bradley International Airport, now available on airlingus.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home,
The real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two have geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS,
still got- oh, okay, I see.
$5,000,
All right. I didn't
$50,000,
even look.
or
Fritz is still on
$500,000,
too, right?
We have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
Fritz is gone.
75-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com. 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Your phone calls are now. Of course, Jeff is in Wallingford. How we doing, Jeff?
I'm doing extremely well. How are you, Reese?
I'm pretty good, sir. What do you got for me?
It's an honor to talk to you, first of all.
Thank you.
And I would like to thank Joe and Mark for putting everything out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to get political. I'm calling on the 5 o'clock focus.
Yes, sir.
I have 1 dog, 9 chickens.
Wow.
When we go away to Lake George, it's $700 for our chicken tenders and the dog keeper, and she stays at our house. It's a great friend of my wife.
Oh, okay. So you said, I'm sorry, the chickens and the dogs stay at your home and someone comes by?
They actually live in our house while we're not here.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's sort of like a house sitter, pet sitter, same kind of situation.
Right. And we're going to Ireland, and that's going to cost us an extra $1,400.
Oh, man. Okay, look, you're beyond dedication, my friend. That is.
You know what? My wife loves her birds. She's retired, and nobody can take care of them like she does, so she needs a special keeper.
Okay, I have to keep her away from my wife because all she talks about is having chickens, man. That's all she ever talks about. Oh, crap, she just heard me.
When I first got him, when she said no,
5
chicken coops later, a cement foundation, steel wire on the base so the rats don't get in there.
Right.
You get chicken rats.
And they produce, I presume, right? They produce eggs, right?
Oh, absolutely. But we got 9 chickens. We can't eat that many. We give them all away.
Come on, you're practically a farm there, Jeff. Come on. You might as well be selling them. In this economy, you should be making a buck.
And, well, we've been giving away so long. When the eggs went up so high, we said, okay, we got to start charging. Nobody wanted them anymore.
Yeah, it's, you know the old saying, right? Getting the milk for free, so to speak, right? It's going to be hard to sell. I get it.
Exactly.
But $1,400. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Say again.
I'm sorry, what?
No, you were saying $1,400 to take care of the chickens and the dog when you guys go to Ireland in your next trip.
For 14 days.
Ooh, man. God bless you. You know what? If you can do it, God bless you. I don't envy you, but I can appreciate your dedication, my friend, especially because it's your wife. And you know what? If she's going to be the only one, you do it for the only one, right?
I have one more thing to say.
Yes, sir.
Everybody moved to Wallingford. We had air conditioning put in 2 years ago. My highest electric bill was $120.
Wow. There you go. There's a real estate investment for you. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you, sir. Regina is in Hartford. How are you, Regina?
She just dropped.
Oh, come on. I was looking forward to that. Mike's in Plainville. How you doing, Mike?
No more cat jokes, please.
Hey, come on. How are you going to tell me you didn't like that joke? That joke is like 40 years old.
I'm not fond of cats.
Oh, that's why.
They just kind of walk around the house and they leave fur balls and they just kind of jump on you and they jump on the. I'm just not a cat person. I love dogs. Cats, forget it.
Some people, you know what? Have you ever owned a cat at all? Like, have you ever spent a considerable amount of time with a cat?
When I was younger.
Okay, when you were younger. Okay. I wasn't a cat person either. I don't want to take away from your time, but I wasn't a cat person either. But I was sort of, I don't want to say forced upon, but I had a situation with a friend who couldn't house a cat, and she and I were good friends, and I really kind of warmed up to the cat before she had to get rid of her, and the cat's name was Hennessy, and I brought her home, and she was the light of my life. I loved her. I loved Hennessy.
I have to give many kudos to your callers, especially Tim. Yesterday was hilarious.
Hey, listen, for me, he's a riot.
I could be having kind of like an average dull day. I mean, I'm outside most of the day at work. I'm still working. I have to work to retain my sanity, what I have left. But you guys go at it. I love it. Tim, if you're listening, find a good dispensary down there in Hamden. It may help you.
Thank you, Mike. Much appreciated, sir. Much appreciated. I know this, and I know I'm barking up the wrong tree by even mentioning it. My relationship with Tim remains this is a fact. I kid you not. I lie to you not. Okay? He may tick me off as much as I know he ticks all of you guys off. You guys have dealt with him longer than I have. But for me, Tim reminds me of somebody that I know quite well. So, and I mention him all the time. James Montgomery. And he would flip out that I was mentioning his name. He's the only person who would love that. He loves the attention when I mention his name. But James Montgomery was a friend of mine, and he and I were really, we haven't talked to each other a lot. We talk to each other off and on, like every 2 or 3 years we might, catch up. But he was my best friend for 30 years. And he and I are on opposite sides of every spectrum. When it comes to politics, pop culture, we debate all the time. And it was literally the glue that kept our friendship together. It was the glue that we debated all the time. And we loved it. We never walked away angry at one another. We laughed at each other. We joked at each other. It was a whizzing contest, if you to use a sort of phrase. That's what it was. And then we would make fun of each other, but not in a mean-spirited way. But we would go back at each other and, something would happen in the news. He'd call me up and he'd rub it in. And then, of course, I'd do the same thing to him before the whole text messaging thing was. But that's what we did. And Tim reminds me of Jamie Montgomery a lot. And trust me, in 30 years, I got the upper hand on Jamie Montgomery a lot. I mean, in a lot of ways, it was an abusive relationship on Jamie's part. I abuse Jamie all the time. And that's the reason why when Tim calls, I know what it is to you, but for me, I'm reminiscing. It's a totally different thing. So, again, I encourage him to call. And he's very critical of me. I know how critical he is of me. Trust me, I know how critical he is of me. But I don't, whatever. Yeah, it goes with the territory. You are supposed to be critical of me. Okay, Pianki is in the chat room, and he is inundating me with this story. I promise you, Pianki, I'm going to get to it. I just can't read it on the air, and it's off subject. But I appreciate all of the info that's in there. Julie B. in Boston, she says, I got my 3 babies, her dogs. So if I go away, I have partially a woman from a place called, I guess it's rover.com, and a friend. The Rover woman comes in the morning and lets them out and feeds them, and my friend lets them out at night. So her deal is that she's got like a half and half. Well, Julie B., how much money do you spend on and I met her two pugs. I think it's two pugs, right? I met her two dogs. And they are, as those dogs are, they're kind of slow moving, very lethargic is probably not a good word because it almost sounds like a pejorative, but they're slower. They're not darting all over the place. But I don't, like I said, I totally understand the whole people who pay a considerable amount of money, like Jeff in Wallingford, $1,400 for 14 days. That's a lot. That's vacation money spent on chickens and the dog. So, and if you got it like that, of course that makes sense. But I don't know if I would do it. It is difficult for me to go on vacation because of the dogs. I can't go anywhere without them. I've got to go to restaurants where dogs are allowed. Sometimes I sneak the little one in because that's just the way it is. I just don't, and I don't know. It's not that I don't trust anyone. It isn't that, because they're not. My ex-wife used to say it all the time. You got to stop expecting yourself in other people. And because of that, I don't let other people do the things that I would. I can't trust people to do the things that I would do. So I get these people, like when I had Rowdy, my other dog, I had to give him back to the kennel. Back to the animal shelter that I got him from. And I had him for 4 years. And he was absolutely unruly. This dog was unruly. He was a bad dog to everyone but me. He loved me. He did everything that I told him to do except stay on his leash when other dogs were around, because then he'd lose it and he'd attack other dogs. But he was a menace. He was such a menace. And Roseanne would always want me to put him into, send him to obedience school. And it wasn't that I didn't want to spend the money, because I spent money to take him to obedience school. He failed. He failed miserably. I couldn't believe I actually took him to an obedience school at PetSnet, at one of those Petco places. They actually have an in-store sort of training place that you can take the dog to, and he failed. He failed his final. When your dog fails the final, what do you do yourself? The dog fails. I mean, we failed. It was humiliating. We didn't even get a certificate. I mean, they're supposed to be giving that stuff away like candy. Rowdy was that bad. But do you think I cared? No, I brought Rowdy home. And I tried to incorporate him into life when Roseanne and I moved in together. And she hated him. And he wasn't a fan of hers. And she keeps saying that he bit her. He did not. He simply gnawed on her in a very quick and speeding, like a fast nipping. He was just trying to taste her, just to see what he wanted to know what all the big fuss was about. Hey, is this your girlfriend? Let's find out what she tastes like. Arr. That's all. He's just, want to take a little nibble. Well, he didn't get to do it the first time, so he went after you a second time. Yeah, exactly, Michael B. I let the dog do his thing. Do you have a dog? Roland, dog?
No.
No dog? Really? No, you don't have a dog?
No, I'm not an animal guy.
Oh, you're not an animal guy. That's so unblack of you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. People your age who listen to hip-hop all have pit bulls. Am I stereotyping you? You're supposed to have a pit bull or a Rottweiler. Naturally. So no dogs. So let's say, Michael B. says that it was a love nibble to Roseanne. Yes, he was trying to figure out what all the fuss was about. He was like, come here, let me taste you. Arr, arr. Sokolowski said, I had a Chihuahua Terrier mix. She was a terrorist, but I loved her until she died recently. Well, I feel bad just reading what's name. Reading Michael B. Shut up, Michael B. It's so stupid. Condolences to your loss, but a Chihuahua Terrier mix seems weird. That's an odd coupling. People who actually do the weird mixes of the dog, like with a big dog with a small dog, how do you do that? It's like, I don't even want to know what that nightclub was like. That was what's a sick thing. at all. You had to have a dog when you were a kid, Roland, right? Did you grow up with a dog? Like were you?
Yeah, but I just didn't have good experiences with animals.
Oh, really? Attacking you, or just you didn't?
I don't like to be licked on. I don't like to be smelled.
Oh.
I don't like the smell of the animals.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that makes sense. I'm not really a touchy-feely person either. Like, I've got to engage. But dogs who are, like, all clingy and always want to be up under you, I'm totally understand. Rowdy was not like that. Rowdy just ran all over the place, and he would sit in a place and, that kind of stuff. And if a dog would come by, he would lose it. Like, he would, in frenzied sort of fashion. And if somebody came by the house, he thought everyone was there to see him. He was like a narcissist. He was like very, my wife says he was like me. He was very much like his owner. Michael A. says, Biden would say, if you don't own a dog, you ain't black. That's a good one. That is a good one. We got to get out of here. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow is your favorite day and mine. Nope, wrong one.
The airing of grievances.
That's right. Don't forget the airing of grievances tomorrow. We're also going to do a 5 o'clock focus as well. So we got plenty of stuff to get into. So with that, be good to each other. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio, and let's go to Mark Christopher and the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark. See you tomorrow.
Have a great night, Reese. Good boy, Rowdy. Good boy. Down, Rowdy. Down. Good boy, Rowdy. Good boy. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, you got delays from exit 33.
Yeah, dude's a character.
He is, man.
Being brought to you by
All right, buddy. I will see you tomorrow.
All right, see you for the Friday episode.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Damn, this week went by too fast.
Well, you can do it all again next week.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. All right, man. Thanks.
All right. Is tied up, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound, running a little slow.
Okay, guys, time for me to get up out of here. Thank you, Michael A. Yeah, with that. Hey, you know what? I meant to say, for those of you who do know him, Jay King, my former, co-host on Kings in the Morning, his dad passed away, I heard yesterday. And take a moment to send a prayer to Jay King. If you know him, if you know of him, send him a prayer. He was very, very close to his dad, and I'm sure that he's affected by that greatly. So we're thinking of his father and thinking of him during his time of loss. All right? You guys be good to each other. We will see you mañana.